the real problem.
They're not allowed to do anything though, because they kick them out of certain regions though. That's the problem though, Marky. Then
No,
they
you can find them on Instagram. Like what's it called? There's one called Philistine Translation. He reports daily, and Palestine East. Like I could drop a link.
no.
They do daily reporting on what goes down in the West Bank, but they kill their
Oh,
reporters regularly,
they
and
kill
that's
them,
the
and they're
problem.
not allowed in certain regions because they have to be escorted by Israelis. So all they can do is report on the internet, on social media. That's not really broadcasted. They won't even allow them in certain areas. They have to be escorted by Israeli military. So you're not really getting any true military or any true reporting, and the reporting that's on all your local syndicate, whichever one you like, that's coming from Israel. Because I guarantee you what them people are saying on the internet is not the same thing that they're reporting. Because they're not allowed in those regions. So how could they get information if they're not allowed in the region? Where the fuck are they getting the information from? Because there ain't no American journalists over there. There's no world journalists over there. So where the fuck are they getting the information from?
I would agree with you.
So that part has to.
Get it from a side.
We've always been. Yeah, we've been manipulated with that forever.
There's no way to independently verify anything that comes out of Gaza.
Yeah, that's got to stop, bro. People got to wake up with this stuff, and this got to stop. This whole war stuff that they got, where we have this addiction for war with Israel, and they keep trying to make this stuff some religious war. That ain't what this is. That's got to stop. And they keep talking about how radical they are and all this foolishness. It's been going on.
Why is the United States?
That this is the only wars that they always bring up there. The religion.
Israel can go and do all this shit that Israel do, and America follows behind them. So what is this relationship?
Because they bought our politicians. Look up AIPAC. AIPAC. The crazy shit. AIPAC brags about the fact that they bought our politicians. They own at least 350 people in Congress, and they funded at least 530 members of the Congress right now.
So
they own us. And then Miriam Adelson paid Donald Trump $200 million. And then obviously you have people like Stephen Miller, who's right next to Donald Trump, and Pete Hegseth, who's a Christian evangelist. Like all of these people are just ideologically bent towards Zionism and Israel. And it don't get better. And I will agree with Pittsburgh T. It don't get better if you look at Barack Obama. I can't remember the name of the guy who was in Barack Obama's cabinet that was communicating with Epstein and Ehud Barak about how Israel was having a population issue, about how they weren't able to get enough Russian Jews in, and that too many Arabs were coming to Israel and they were going to have a majority problem. So I don't disagree with Pittsburgh T on that. I'm just talking about specifically this Iran war. That's what I'm talking about. I think that Donald Trump is different than them in that way. That they knew that there was a line not to cross.
Over there fucking with them people like that, except for his stupid ass, and he got the dumbass reason to sit up there and tell everybody they was cowards. No, dumbass, it's a reason why they ain't go over there fooling with them people.
Yo, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to step on you, but I got to block off. But I actually wanted to speak specifically to the Iran war. And thanks to DaBoxingScholar for letting me pull up. But and not censoring me too, because y'all been fronting, you and Marky Dan DaBoxingScholar. Like I be trying to pull up to the shows and like, yeah, we're gonna eat dinner in 2 hours and shit, and then y'all keep babbling on without letting Sir File Player come through in the cut.
Hey, Sir File Player. By the way, I appreciate you. God damn, well, I appreciate people always pulling up to my show, but I can't have the back and forth about Biden for an hour, brother. I just can't do that. But go ahead.
Yeah, but you were bloviating for an hour after the fact that and all you were giving was color commentary with the other brother AC, displaying bad feelings about or your bad feelings about Trump for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not dissing you though. It's your show at the end of the day, and you still my bro, Marky Dan. Like even though we don't agree with I don't agree with DaBoxingScholar politically most times neither, but y'all still the bros, and I still listen to your shows. But let your boy pull up though too. But in terms of the Iran war, and like when the Iran war popped off that weekend, I was on your show, Marky Dan, and I really wasn't cool with the fact that we went to war with Iran. I don't like war as a general principle, but now that we're 2 months deep into the Iranian war, we like 13 U.S. soldiers have passed away. I mean, even one soldier passing away is too many. but those 13 soldiers probably got killed off in the early stages of the war. Right now, we got Iran on lock. Like Iran ain't doing shit. Like if Iran were even hitting tankers, you'd be hearing about it. Like because the news is more than happy to report negative Trump news, and you ain't even hearing about them hitting tankers with drones and nothing like that. Right now, American Air Force and American planes are flying over Iran. It's not even jets; they're like warthogs, which aren't even like planes that gotta fly super high and are knocking drones out the sky. Iran ain't popping shit off like right now. Like they ain't coming to a deal with us because they're pretty much trying to decide at the end of the day who are the leadership or who's gonna be the ones ultimately that run Iran into the future. But Iran probably got a few days, and their capabilities of drilling for oil and retaining oil are probably gonna be set back 20 years if they don't get to a deal with America. I mean, if they're gonna start themselves.
Ain't none of that true what you just said, bro.
All right, bro. Yo,
No,
Pittsburgh.
that's it, but-
I don't need you. Like, let me finish my point. I ain't cutting nobody off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let him finish it, brother. Let him finish.
Well,
Are
ultimately,
you super sensitive, bro? You can have a dialogue. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't need to have a dialogue with you because it like just because you voted for Trump, then these people think that you and I like have to agree on shit. Like I don't need to have a dialogue with you because at the end of the day,
Because you be saying wrong shit.
Hold on.
You just saying incorrect statements,
At the end of the day, you just pull up
super
with these
sensitive.
hold on, my man. Like, hold yourself, bro. You like a lady. At the end of the day,
No, I'm
you
not. I'm talking like a man. I don't have to listen to you bloviate and just say stuff that's factually incorrect. Like
At
me
the
and
end of the
Marky
day-
didn't have a back and forth all the time about shit, and we go back and forth on facts. You're just saying political talking points, bro.
At the end of the
you
day,
just said the truth.
most of the stuff that you say on these panels is just disagreeing with whoever's speaking. Like, so let me get my points off. I gotta dip off anyway.
Did me and Marky just disagree, or you just talking nonsense? We didn't just disagree. You're just talking
but
nonsense, bro.
I talk for 2 minutes. Just hold between your legs, like while I make a point, and I'll pop off, bro.
Between your legs, bro. How about you say some stuff that's factual, bro? That's what you do. You throw little pot shots and you run off with the sentence you heard, bro. Like the idea that Iran is not doing anything is not true. And you got a bunch of feedback.
Make your point. Listen. I have no contention with you, brother. At the end of the day, like you and I only have issues because you step on me in the midst of me making a point. I don't do that shit to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Go ahead, make a point, sir. Go ahead, make a point, sir. Go ahead.
I'm attempting to. Yeah, but right, as this war progresses and as we get later into the war, you're hearing of no more American casualties. You're also hearing about the capabilities of Iran drilling, selling, producing oil, being hurt or stymied at a minimum. However you want to put it, like they're not really able to make bread. Their currency, which wasn't doing that well to begin with, is drastically reduced as time progresses. We're not getting that in America. At the end of the day, like the biggest fallback from the war in America is not even American troops dying anymore in the later stages of this war. It's the prices of gas that we're seeing increase. But ultimately, the price of gas at this stage of the Iranian war wasn't even as high as it was under the Biden presidency when it was at its peak. You know, but again, you have a lot of people that just because they don't like Trump, I mean, once Trump has a small blemish as far as the movement goes, they're going to cry about it and make it seem like everything we suffered under the Biden administration didn't happen. And then like what we're going through currently that the media is pumping out about Trump that day is the worst shit that happened in the world. Again, I don't want the Iranian, I don't want any war to pop off like that. But right now, I mean, like, you know, Iran is, and I said it to you that day. I don't know if you recall me telling you, Marky, then when the war popped off, it just seems at times, and this is my theory, that Iran is almost the existence of a radicalized Iran gives the ability for Israel to exist in its current iteration of, oh, well, this Muslim superpower is always coming at our neck. Now they can't say that. Who they're gonna say that it could come at Israel's neck in after Iran, Lebanon, or some, you know, some weaker country, Yemen, you know, so that whole, like, you know, we make, like, Trump as a politician, I hate Republicans, I hate Democrats a little bit more, because they got my people locked down mentally. But the game in our lifetime politically is going to change forever. Like nothing that we could refer to in the past is going to be the same. Like, and you're seeing it happen in real time, like under this current president. Like, I mean, like, you know, whether you like him or hate him, like the game is going to change completely with everything, you know, whether that be economically, how we play politics, like people getting murked. We're entering into that season again politically. So I'm here for it, man. I'm glad to be alive. Like while we step into the future, like and the world that we're entering is not going to be the same. And I mean, I'm not saying that as a good thing. I mean, but I think this was going to happen no matter what. And I think Trump is just a signal to that popping off. But yo, Pittsburgh T, like I got no problems with you. I'm sorry if I may come off like that. I mean, like we just left off on a bad foot the last time, bro. Everything I said about you in the comments, I take back. And I'm telling you right now, I apologize.
I don't care about what happened last time, bro. You got a new
Nevertheless, in the future, I don't have no problem with you, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, I don't hover on that, bro. You want to hover on that too. You got a lot of good feedback when you got talking, so you probably even you.
With different people, though. You know what I'm saying?
But you need to mute when you're not talking, because we can't hear anything. Everybody, you got feedback when you talk.
Yeah, my phone's a piece of shit. I just wanted to apologize. I'm not gonna talk no more. I gotta bob off anyway. But I do want to apologize to you, man to man. Like if I said,
nah, bro, I don't worry about that, bro. I don't worry about that. Just mute up.
I'm rendering it. I don't got no issue with you, bro. Hey, yo,
Yeah,
but
good.
Thanks for letting me come through.
But what I'm gonna say is a lot of what you said, and I agree with Pittsburgh T, was just not factually correct. Like they are striking tankers. Like just the last week, they struck 3 tankers that were trying to break through the Hormuz Straits. Then on top of the fact we're not flying any jets over Iran right now in the middle of the ceasefire. And when we were, at least the last week before the ceasefire, they shot down 2 of our jets and 2 helicopters in the same day. So then that's not true. And then you brought up like the price of gas under Biden. Right now, the price of diesel is 40 cents away from passing what it was under Biden. The price of unleaded regular gas is about 60 cents away from passing what it was under Biden per gallon. So a lot of that is just untrue. Inflation rose by an entire percent last month. It's going to continue to rise as the price of diesel goes up. Because when it comes to diesel, you need like diesel. Everything runs on diesel. Everything in the United States that gets imported on freighters, it runs on diesel. So if these big truck guys, they got to pay more at the pump, they're going to charge more to import stuff into your state. And that's going to be fertilizer. That's going to be petrochemicals for drugs. And when it comes to that fertilizer, that's going to affect the price of groceries and everything else in between. Construction, that's going to affect the construction material. That's going to affect the housing market. And as long as Iran is causing that rise to happen, they're beating us strategically. And even if even if there's a huge damage to Iran's economy, Iran is not a democracy. They don't have elections. You know what I'm saying? Like they're an autocracy. They can just tell their people to suck a dick and eat a big old fucking fucked up economy dick. Whereas in the United States of America, we have elections, and we're gonna have a Democratic majority. The longer this war goes on, the bigger that majority for the Democrats are gonna be after this upcoming November. So I mean, this a lot
not
that was wrong.
That shit the Supreme Court just did.
I don't think I'm gonna tell you the truth, sis. That shit is not gonna matter. All those Republican districts, like in Florida, that are made up of Cubans, they're gonna lose those. All those Republican districts that are made up of Latinos in Texas, Louisiana, those shits are gone. Like all of those, like the 45% of Latino men that voted for Trump are gone. So I mean, they could try.
The 6 of those states are talking about redrawing their maps. So
I don't think
fuck up a lot of things. Yeah.
Like I said, and what happened with the Civil Rights Act Section 2 is a shame.
It's a damn shame.
But it was inevitable. It was inevitable. It's just like what happened with affirmative action.
Well, Mark, then for y'all go off of that, let me just correct some of the stuff that he said that was completely incorrect. As far as like Iran itself and the country and what they're able to do militarily, their battle isn't against us like as a military to military to like they have a military war. Their battle is that straight and limit access.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Iran
they
cannot
can't. They
fight
can't
us
beat us.
the way
They can't beat us in the game in the game of military tactics. So they have a
they
wider
can't.
strategy. Yeah, they have a wider strategy to choke us economically and defeat us politically with our own elections when the Republicans lose this November.
It's a entire situation. They not running. Oh, we just gonna fight you with military. That's not what the fuck they're doing. They
they're
already
winning the
know
only.
they can't come to us like we come to them. They know that. They've
Yeah,
been planning this for the
And
it's,
and,
past
guer-
Pi-
20
and
fucking
Pittsburgh,
years. They
it's
Pittsburgh,
have
guerrilla
they
warfare.
still.
specifically
It's
come
called
out
guerrilla
and
warfare.
stated that
All
they
right.
are going to
Can y'all hear me
crush
now?
us
Yeah, I hear
economically
you.
through
Okay,
the
so look.
oil. That's what they
Okay,
said.
so
That's what they done said that,
And
and
okay,
they're
Pittsburgh
doing
T.
that,
One
okay,
more
hold
thing
and
on.
they
before you
not
go.
giving it up.
They still have one more lever of escalation. They can still close the Red Sea with the Houthis, and the Houthis have
No,
not done that yet.
well, not well. Well, hold on. Let's not go to. Okay, so let's parse the middle and not go to the extremes. He went to the extreme that they can't do anything. That's ridiculous. They've done what they set out to do. They're not going to fight us militarily. Them clogging up their strait to the point where we're only pushing out probably about 20% of the world fuel that was leaving out of there. That's what's leaving right now. And that 20% is going to another hemisphere. It's not actually us, but all of our products and stuff that run that China and all of them get their fuel from them. So if their fuel prices go up, all our material goods and our raw goods are going to go up because we a lot of even our raw goods we don't even have in this country anymore from iron to steel to chips. I mean, you can start naming some of the raw parts. We get all that stuff imported, so it makes the cost of everything go up. So that's what they use as leverage in their war. So this idea that they were going to fight us out militarily, they never were going to do that. That was not never their strategy. So they've done what they've set out to do, even up until this point.
That's
They've
never their
increased what
strategy.
they
They're going
started.
to economically
Yeah.
choke us the fuck out.
So what they've done now is they've increased the production of what they've let through, but it's still nowhere near the amount that they've done now. So that's one. Number two, as far as what they've done in their economy and the currency and all of that, that's for political ponderers and stuff like that, because that's a way more complicated issue, and people ain't gonna want to have that conversation because that's never as simple as people try to make it seem. And a lot of stuff has happened because UAE, which I don't know if they've actually done it yet, they've made an actual statement that they're pulling out of OPEC, which is
Yeah,
a
they done
whole
it.
nother
They've already done it.
yeah, which is a whole nother
If the
ricochet
United
there,
States
which causes
is such a good position, why the fuck is Trump trying to threaten
well,
people with treason for saying that we not winning this war?
yeah,
Because
but
we
that
not
ain't.
winning this war. Them
But
people
hold
whooping our
on, but
ass, even with the
they
AI.
not. No, they're not.
And the
No, they're
reason why
not.
they
No,
whooping
they're
our
not.
ass even on the internet, because them Lego videos is going up. Okay, the shit got a
Yeah,
nice
but
beat.
hold on.
It makes sense. They going in. We don't even have nobody that can put nothing up because this
Yeah,
stupid ass
them Lego
But
administration
hold on.
videos,
fired
those
everybody
shits are
that do that
hilarious.
shit.
But hold on, Queen. But hold on. That's two different things. Like now, so now you're talking about propaganda because that's Iran propaganda. So like
Propaganda is a
propaganda
part
is
of war.
yeah, yeah, but propaganda is propaganda, Queen. No matter who puts it out,
Propaganda
it's
is a
still
part of
propaganda.
war.
I get it, but that doesn't mean
They're
that it's
winning.
factual. No, they're not. That doesn't
They
mean that it's
are.
factual.
What
Okay, so
propaganda we put out?
okay, we put out Israeli propaganda. We just went through this whole thing about
I
our
mean,
war
Donald Trump
statute
say
is
he won the
Israeli
war like 30
propaganda.
different times.
Yeah, that's propaganda. So Iran putting out those Lego videos, that's equal propaganda. We just don't like
Trump
Trump,
say
so
he
we want to
won
act
the
like it's
war
not
30 times.
propaganda.
And how many Americans believe that
It's
shit?
proper. Queen,
When
it's
we
still
go, when we
But
propaganda.
driving down the
but
road and
whether
we see
somebody
them
Still
prices
believes
at the
propaganda.
but
gas
whether
station,
somebody
we know
believes
damn well we
propaganda or
ain't
not,
winning a damn thing.
Still
We know
but
that.
what
propaganda.
but whether somebody believes propaganda or not, that don't mean that propaganda is necessarily true. Now,
Yeah, it's still propaganda.
what I like about Iran's Lego videos is it is mixed in with at least a certain level of truth. Like when they say, we fighting the Epstein class to death, and then they got Donald Trump in like a fucking limousine with like crying with a little girl, and then Netanyahu in the next video is walking him like a fucking dog. It's funny. It's that shit don't literally happen, but it kind of do literally happen.
Yeah, and then like when you're talking about war and about who's winning, that's an actual thing. We haven't actually engaged in a war, right? So like if you're gonna consider like bombing an actual war, that's not the same thing as you sending troops in there and you going in there.
We,
It's not an actual war.
you know,
That's
I
not the
want us
same
to
thing.
engage
No,
them.
no,
I do. I
it's
want us
not the
to
same. No,
engage
we
them.
don't.
So when
No,
them
we
people
don't. No, you
bodies
don't.
start dropping and
I
the
don't necessarily
Americans
agree
start
with
No,
that.
you
burying their
don't.
fucking kids, maybe we'll take this shit seriously and stop voting these people that's taking APAC money into fucking office. Cause them people
Queen,
is gonna
anytime
tear
we
America's
go,
ass up.
Queen, anytime you go to war, people die. There has not been one war that we went to that American
This
soldiers
is
have
not a
not
war
died.
that's benefiting us in any kind of way. This is not a
None of them
necessary war.
have.
This is a stupid ass man with an ego problem that got us into some shit that we cannot get out. America is not coming out of this shit unscathed. We not.
Queen,
We
there's not
gonna
been
bend
one
over
war.
and get in what they want, or we gonna take a dramatic fucking loss.
We're not going to
I
take a
mean,
loss. Number one, there's not been a war that we've went and engaged in or American soldiers have not died, not one. And what I was trying to emphasize before was that every war over there is from Israel propaganda. It doesn't matter the president. If you like him or not, it don't matter. And then when the next guy comes in, they don't run out of these wars. They stay in
Guillotine,
there
right?
because they're getting money. They're getting money from the whole weapon, the military industrial complex is making money off of this stuff. That's why these wars
You know,
last forever. And
I
if you
said all of
ignore,
that. And the people
hold on,
that's suffering
if
from
we
that shit
last
is the American people.
no, but hold on, Queen. Now, if you look at the military industrial complex, which is one of the most heavily funded and the most heavily lobbied in American politics, that's why these wars hang out so long. And these people are all through cabinets. From Dick Cheney, from the beginning of Dick Cheney, which was the most, Dick Cheney had to be the most known person that everybody knew this son of a bitch was profiting because he was a vice president of Halliburton, which was the oil drilling person, and who had all these no bid contracts for all the oil rigs over there. That was the very apparent what the fuck they were doing. That was the first one, and it just progressively got worse until we're to the point where we are now, where these people are littered through the presidential cabinet. These people have been taken over forever. If you look at the military industrial complex, you can't just look at just parties. You got to look at where this money is going, and a lot of it's APAC and military industrial stuff. So this war stuff ain't gonna never stop. These people make a ton of money off of this craziness.
You can say all of that. It's only one fucking party that consistently go over here and do this shit. I don't care how much you say.
That's
Everybody
not.
participate. It's only one fucking party that actually jumps this shit off.
That's not again, and me and Pittsburgh T, we don't agree a lot, but that's not necessarily true. Obama made the decision to bomb Libya, and support the Libyan rebels in getting Gaddafi out, and that was an
Yep.
absolute fucking disaster.
Syria
Same thing
too.
with
He did Syria too.
yeah. Well, Syria wasn't that. What? No, Syria was bad because he funded groups, and then the money and arms got into the hands of ISIS and other different jihadists. But Syria, that was something more negotiated, where he negotiated with Russia for to get Assad's gas out of the country, and then we had some U.S. troops over there, but we weren't. That wasn't anything on the level of Iraq or Afghanistan. But I'll give you that. I'll even give you that. We got involved over there too.
Yeah, but that's all based off
Obama
bad
did a whole
intelligence.
lot of shit. Okay,
I don't
but
think
it didn't
that's
look
based
like
off
this.
of, but it's based off bad intelligence. Because, like, really, if you look at the intelligence he had, it was from Israel. It's all Israel talking points. That's where they went over there and they were trying to do the same crap. It never fails. All of these wars in that region is based off Israel and their talking points. They all, like, if you take the carbon copy reason why we're that, like, the United States government is saying we're going over there now. And look at when we went in Iraq. Look at when we went in Iran. Look at when we went in Desert Storm. It's all the same reasoning. They were saying the same crap that this dude came up with saying it's extremists, it's jihad extremists. It's the same crap they've been repeating for 30 freaking years. They don't never stop this crap. People keep falling for it.
I'm not gonna disagree.
No, what I was going to say earlier, what I was going to add to this is America can win this war, right? And the way to win it is how you win any
Any
war. You
disagreements, Queen?
negotiate. Yo, you can't hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, we hear
Marky
you. Go
Dell.
ahead.
I don't think Marky can hear me. Can you hear me, Marky?
No, I was asking Queen if she have any disagreements because I don't disagree.
Hold
Because
up.
we went
No,
into
fuck the
Iraq
disagreements.
because of
Let me
weapons of
say
mass
this.
destruction
Hold on,
that
let me say this.
Netanyahu and the PM at the time said that Saddam had. We went into Libya because we were told that the country was going to be better based off of Mossad intelligence and other things. We went into Syria as a result of Israel not wanting Hezbollah to have an ally so close to their border. We went into this current war because of because of Netanyahu once again. So I mean, I don't disagree with that at all whatsoever. It's all being propped up by Israel.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
think it's any real disagreement to add, and the military-industrial complex, and
yes,
that's
Marky
only
Dell.
getting
So,
worse. I mean, these motherfuckers they're asking for a $1.5 trillion budget
okay, so,
specifically so they can hand all that money to if Anthropic stays in place, Elon Musk, Donald Trump Jr.'s drone company, all those different contractors, the people that build the bulldozers that go to the West Bank,
all
all
right,
that shit. They probably even want to build a couple more B-2 bombers.
so
I
the
mean,
way
these
we win
motherfuckers,
this
they talk
war is
about
there's no way this
what they
nigga can
call
hear
it,
me.
the
There's
Golden
no way
Dome.
this
That
nigga
shit's
can
gonna
hear me.
cost $1 trillion.
Nah, he can't hear you.
Musk is probably gonna buy. Elon Musk
Marky
is
Dell.
probably gonna build it and get all that money. On
Tell that
top of the
nigga hit the
fact they
refresh
cut
button.
taxes for these rich
Can't hear
motherfuckers.
you.
I mean,
Marky
Can't hear
Dad,
nobody. You can't hear
Scholar
nobody.
said hit the refresh button because you can't hear him talking.
oh my bad. Okay, my bad. Hold
This
on a
nigga,
second.
I'm like, hold on, there's no fucking way this nigga is this crazy. But hold on, this is what I was gonna say. We could win the war, Queen, the same way we win all wars, right? And it's crazy that this worked like this. I'll be forgiven with business, right? Like there was a time where where we didn't do business with a lot of people that we do business with now, and we do fairly good business with them. Like the Saudis, for example. The Saudis were responsible now that we find out for 9/11, and we do business with them now. Like the way to get rid of this stuff is just business. The reason why Iran was willing to come to the negotiation tables was because of business, and all gets forgiven because they don't have the military capability to reach us. Like Pittsburgh T was saying, they don't have a navy, they don't have any of these things. And anytime you fight somebody, no matter how strong your military is, you're like it. That doesn't mean anything, right? Because home field advantage matters, right? Guerrilla warfare has been a tactic that's been around since Vietnam, and it works. It works. You look at the farmers that were beating up the Russians. Home field advantage is a real thing. We're not going to beat Iran at their home. The only way to for sure beat them is to use nukes, and we're not going to do that, right? Like we want the earth preserved. We understand global warming is a real thing. When the last time we had a real winter? That's neither here nor there. But yeah, the only way to really win the war is to go back to negotiations. I think that the Trump administration messed up in this sense. The guy who was willing to negotiate with them, right? Even though they were bombing the hell out of them, they killed him. Had they not killed that guy, they still would be able to negotiate because the guy that took over for them was able to rally everybody in favor or against the government because they had one unified enemy, which was America. And this guy was more rational. And he's like, hey, I'm not going to negotiate with you guys while y'all continuously bombing us. So that's where Trump messed up at.
Why should they? I wouldn't negotiate with them either. The reason why they talked to Obama is because they took them sanctions off of them, and Obama basically paid them reparations for that shit. Because we don't really got no real beef with Iran. We got no problems. They did shit to us.
Yeah, we do
We
because
putting
Israel,
sanctions and
like
shit on them for other people and what other
Israel.
people got going on. They did nothing to the United States of America, and Trump should have left the fucking deal in place. Everybody signed off
yeah,
on it.
but it had a black man's name
Our
on it, so
allies
he
don't
had to
even
tear
fuck
it
with this
down.
shit.
Yeah, but that's Israel. Like, remember, Israel is always pushing the line. No matter what America does, Israel always feel threatened. They're the most threatened and the most attacked. Look, right now, currently, they are attacking Lebanon. They're attacking Syria. They still got ongoing stuff in Gaza where they've killed up to, I think the death toll is 80,000 or close to it at this point
They
for
killed
the
a
last 2
thousand just
years.
this year in the middle of a
It's got to be
ceasefire.
80. Yes, close to 80,000 in Gaza. West Bank, they're killing people. Like Israel is the prime culprit of this. So whatever, if you want to fully believe Israel, then you're going to be in trouble. And unfortunately, America believes Israel. Some presidents believe them more than others, but we always get ourselves in mess dealing with Israel and their bad intelligence. And when you start siphoning it through it, it's all Israel's intelligence. And unfortunately, we haven't had a political party that stood up to them and said, no, we're not going to do that. They're all witchcraft, man, unfortunately, when it comes to this particular region, because they try to make it a religious war. You heard the dude that was up here earlier talking about they're extremists and jihadists and all of that. Aren't. That ain't got nothing to do with us. I mean, absolutely nothing to do with America. That ain't got nothing to do with us. So when they try to make this stuff religion, that's where we go wrong. And they keep doing that. That's all propaganda. That's how you know where that stuff is coming from. It's only coming from there. If that's their basis of stuff.
Iran has been more humanitarian driven in this conflict than the United States has. So anything they have to say about the violence of Muslims or Islam is a bunch of bullshit. It just simply is.
Well, I mean,
The question is, how the hell do we get Israel out of our politicians' pockets?
Well, we need to elect the president. Well, I believe that right now, if you vote for a Democratic politician, or at least if you're voting in the Democratic primaries, make sure to vote for somebody that's not supported by AIPAC. Make sure they do not take pro-Israeli dollars. We could deal with anybody who's taking AI dollars and fucking.
Hold on, Marky Dan. What do you do
solar
if both
panels.
candidates take money from AIPAC?
But that's not a thing, Scholar. That's not a thing. That's
No,
not a thing.
no, most of them do. That is a thing.
No, show me where.
Most politicians take money from AIPAC. That's not a thing.
No. I'm talking
Yeah,
about
it is.
specifically. No. I'm talking about specifically in these upcoming primaries. You have you have anti-AIPAC politicians that are stepping up to the fore. That is a
There
fact.
are.
Vote
Yo,
for
Marky Dan, I'm
the
using
What
air
I'm
quotes.
telling you is vote
They're
for the
stepping up.
anti-AIPAC politicians.
So Marky Dan, let me do this. I don't want to be the negative guy in this situation, but I gotta be, right. So what I notice about politicians, if they know something is really, really popular, they'll do that certain thing, but just do a dark web way of doing it. Like, so they won't have their fingerprints on it. They'll take money from somebody that's taking it from another. You get what I'm trying to say? Like the dark web
That's
type of
better than the
stuff.
way it is. But even if they do that, Scholar, that's better than the way that they're doing it now. Now you got people like Raphael Cruz going on there, which his name is Ted Cruz initially, but I call that fool Raphael, saying that he's representing Israel. That's his whole purpose. Like, they're bold with it. You got to stop. That's got to stop. We got to get people that are supposed to be for America. That's got to stop.
You know what Israel is going to be, Pittsburgh T? Israel is going to be the new trans issue. The same way how when Democrats were going gung-ho for these people that are less than 1% of the population, Jews and Zionists represent less than 1% of the population. And then for you to come out here and say, I'm stepping up to, or what did Ted Cruz say? I got elected so that I can support our brothers in Israel.
Yeah,
bro, there's no way.
Stop.
The same way how they played that shit with Kamala Harris, talking about I support transgender surgeries for illegal immigrants, prisoners. They're gonna play all that shit in 2028. So there's going to be anti-AIPAC politicians. This is just the way how that shit is gonna work. And I'm telling you, Scholar, vote for, if you are voting in the Democratic primaries, vote for the guy who is anti-AIPAC, who steps up and say, I do not take AIPAC dollars.
But what,
Same
hold on,
thing
Marky
if you're
Dan.
a Republican.
Marky Dan, see, and this is like kind of like the egg situation and the transgenders. Like, they ignored all the important stuff for the stupid stuff. So let's just say that they are standing on business and they don't they're not supporting AIPAC and all this other stuff. What if their policies are crappy on other issues?
Well, listen,
But
that's something we're gonna have to figure out in 2028. I'm a
yeah, but
progressive
Well, I
agenda.
mean, what's more important?
I'm for a politician that's going to step up when it comes to renewable energy, nationalizing healthcare, and my three boxes are those two, and then anti-Israel, pulling all the funding
you
from
can't.
Israel, conditioning
But
it.
you can't have. But
Well,
look, you can't have
Israel
somebody taking money
cause
from
all of
APAC
these
because that means they
problems.
can be
Shouldn't
bought.
Israel be the forefront of what we trying to get rid of? Like,
Well, you can't have a politician taking APAC money because that means he can be bought. So you don't want an APAC. You don't want an APAC politician because whatever he's going to tell you, he can be bought, and that's just one of the probably the political wings that he's being bought on. There's a whole bunch of other issues that got all these other groups and PACs that they're buying them on other issues. Don't believe that APAC is the only one if they're taking APAC money. So you definitely don't want an APAC politician, Republican or Democrat. Those are bought and paid for politicians. You don't want them clowns around you. It's not what you want.
so who gonna have these type of conversations to let the people that's voting know that they probably want to stay away from people that's taking APAC money?
Right now,
Yes, sir,
from
dude.
what I'm seeing, it's mainly Democrats because all the Republicans that need or that are going for Trump's endorsements, they're usually getting funded by it, or at least they're getting APAC's blessing.
They're gonna have
So
a
this,
problem though when they have to do a revote now, because right now it's the Democrats are up now. When they do the general, we'll see how much it affect the Republicans. Right now, it's mostly Democrats that are coming up with challenge. So we'll see how much of a. I think the Republicans are gonna have a problem too, because they look real stupid right now saying America first, and you're taking APAC money. That's insane.
absolutely. And then like the Democrats are gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do about people like Hakeem Jeffries, Richie
Yeah,
Torres,
yeah,
Chuck Schumer, people that are
yeah,
just too pro-Israel. They're too
yeah. They gotta do
pro-Israel.
something.
The fact they won't even call Netanyahu a war criminal. They're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do with those people. They need to be out on their ass, if you ask me. They accuse
Yeah.
John Ossoff of taking funds because he's Jewish. No, John Ossoff is not taking no APAC funds. That's something I appreciate that man for. I appreciate him.
And you
Now
gotta have a reset.
that's somebody that could be the Democratic nominee in 2028. He's white. He's not anti APAC. He's pro renewable energy. I don't really know his opinions on healthcare. I think he's just for the status quo.
You talking
But I
about
think
for the
he's white
president?
enough. I think he got the complexion for the protection on top
You
of
talking
being
about for the
anti
seat of
APAC.
POTUS? You talking about for the presidential seat?
Yeah, he's saying if he was to run, he hasn't run yet, but he was just saying if he was. I think that
Cause
that's something that people got to look at. They got to
I've heard
we
a
got to
few
get these
people
people out
say
of here.
that they feel like he is going to be the best
Yeah, absolutely.
Democratic
Absolutely.
candidate
Absolutely.
for the presidential election.
Absolutely.
So that's
And then we
possible.
could figure out
Bernie can't get nowhere. Bernie
I mean by
don't
then
know.
AI we'll probably be screwed by then. But
What's wrong with Marky
we
Dan
also
saying?
gotta talk about somebody also has to step to the front and talk about AI because AI is about to take I saw statistics. There's 800,000 Uber drivers right now, and Uber is looking at. And I know you disagreed because you don't think Uber is going to step forward with the investment because those
No, I think it's gonna be
800,000 Uber
Tesla.
drivers they have their own cars versus the Waymo they'd actually have to
No, it's
put
gonna
forth a
be
huge investment. I
no,
still
no,
think they're gonna do it
no. Market
along with
Dan, what I
all
was
these
trying
other
to tell you.
delivery systems you see.
Market Dan, can you hear me? I think you got to
I
read.
can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
no, what I was saying, I wasn't disagreeing with what your point was. I was just saying you had the wrong company. Because the company that you want to focus in that can actually do that is Tesla now. Because remember, Tesla's been testing in small markets where they've been letting those cars go with non-driverless. I think they started in Austin, Texas. They got one, I think, somewhere in Florida, maybe one in Nevada. Eventually, when they let it go, a person who has an up-to-date Tesla is going to be able to let their car work overnight or in the day when they're not working, and that'll be your autonomous vehicle. That's the one that you got to watch. I think you got the wrong company. I'm not saying that not what you're saying is not true, just that you got the wrong company to do it. Where a person buys a car for under $50,000 and they're going to use it to make extra income, Waymo has to spend like $300,000 per vehicle on that car. And remember, that's Waymo is part of Google. So Google's only able to even do that section because they make so much money on the other products. They're not actually making any money off of Waymo cars. It's more of an investment for the long term.
But
So
that's
they're not
all
going to
the
scale
AI
it up.
right now. But that's
No, not
all of
all
the
of it.
AI industry right now, Pittsburgh T. Nobody
Not all of
like
it.
everybody is in the research and investment stage of AI right now. Nobody has a
Not
huge
all of it.
profit margin that's dipping their head. Well, who is?
Tesla. Tesla's your only one. Major company is Tesla. That's the
No,
most profitable.
But Tesla, they're not a. Well, okay, you're correct. You're correct about that. Yes, because they do have
The
the
cars.
autonomous
The
driverless
cars.
cars. True.
Yes.
But still, I'm talking about Google, Meta, OpenAI, those people specifically. They do not have a profit margin right now, at least when you compare it to their investments into AI. They don't have any profit margins. They've poured, at least I've seen to get combined, they've poured over $800 billion into AI since 2025 started. And they've
More than
only
that.
got back a return of 32, probably more than that. You're probably correct.
Way
And
more than
they've
that.
only
Yeah, it's
got a
trillions.
return of $32 billion.
Yeah, it's trillions. Because like right now they have an open case between Elon Musk and OpenAI, which is Sam Altman. They've
Yeah,
got an
I've
open
seen that.
court case.
I saw that.
Well, that court case is going to be pivotal because that's going to really draw a red line because the way that company was supposed to start off was supposed to be nonprofit. They backdoored Elon Musk and all the investors, and they made a separate portion and made it profitable. And they made a deal with Microsoft for them to have shares in the company where they have a lot. I think they're up to like 20% shares up into that company, and they're going to retain those shares in that company all the way up until they get autonomous general automation. So they almost get full
I gotta
automation.
look more into that case. I gotta look into
Yeah,
that
you have
case.
to
It
look.
seems pretty
So
interesting.
yeah, if you look into it, what you will see is the way that they started. All these people came together, these different companies, and said, "Look, we're going to invest for this thing, and we all want to invest in this thing. We're going to have equal shares, and we don't want to have nobody to have more power than the other person to actually be able to control this thing." They did a backdoor thing because that was supposed to be nonprofit. It was supposed to be even. They went backdoor and they opened up a whole nother section of it and made it profitable. And they just started opening up the floodgates and started opening up these series of rounds of money that they just flooded in there. So they just did a whole different thing. And the only person that sued out of that whole situation is Elon Musk. Be it that people don't like him, if you look at the actual court case, it is wild what they have done, OpenAI. Now, at this point, it's not just OpenAI. You got OpenAI, you got Anthropic, you got Gemini, and the Chinese model that just came out, which is really good off of really cheaper hardware. So it's not OpenAI doesn't really run AI like that. It's about 5 or 6 companies that are in fierce competition with who's the best, and it's minimal at best who's got the better AI. It's not a huge difference between most of them, depending on what you're doing between coding and executing code and whatever you're trying to do. So either way it goes, the way they've got that whole company set up is really a power grab, and it's crazy when you look at the actual court case, and that's ongoing right now. That's why a
It
lot of
needs to
people
be
don't like
stopped.
Sam Altman. Say again?
It needs to be stopped. It's taking up too much resources. We got too many places that don't have water as
Oh,
it
I can't hear
is.
this.
It needs to be stopped. Period.
What need to be
It don't
stopped?
need to progress any further. The fucking AI shit is poisoning people water. It's taking up water. We got too many places in the United States right now that don't have any water, and they don't know how they're going to fix it. So fuck a AI.
Where'd you
Fix
get the poisoning water from? Who told you that? Where'd you get that from?
AI data centers are dangerous to the environment. That is a known factor. That's part of the shit.
Who told
That's
you that?
another
Where you get
reason
that
why
from?
a lot of these
Yeah,
AI
but that's not.
companies are currently being sued because they're fucking over people's water. Especially Elon Musk. He's doing that shit in Tennessee, in Memphis, of all places, where the niggas live.
No, but that's not true. Yeah, but none of that's true. The problem that they have is the power consumption, which
What the
they're
fuck?
all building their own power. Yeah, that's
Pittsburgh, I'm not gonna do this with you. I'm not. You're not fit to tell me that these black folk ain't getting poisoned by that shit when they are. It
by
is true.
water. No. The problem that they're having is power consumption. That a lot of these companies,
They
what
are
they're
being
doing,
poisoned, sir. I suggest you go do some damn research.
poison about how's the AI poisoning them?
What?
How is the AI poisoning them? They need power
Oh my
consumption.
God.
I
I'm
was
gonna
about
need you to
hours they
go
have
do some
poison.
research because I'm not finna do this with you.
Oh, I'm asking you.
I'm
What do you mean? I'm asking you.
just not.
You made a statement. I'm asking you how they're poisoning them. As far as I know, the problem that they're
Data
having is
centers
power
consume
consumption.
the shit. It produces waste, and they're poisoning these people's damn water, and they're doing it in places where they are predominantly black residents.
Data centers don't consume water; they consume power. So that's what I'm asking you. Where are you getting this from? They
Oh my
consume
god!
power.
Oh my god!
They
Oh
have
my
to be
god!
powered
Oh
and
my
they have to be
god!
cool.
I'm not gonna do this with you. You read the chat. They telling you, okay? Because I'm not gonna do this with you.
But you're making a statement. What I'm saying is that data centers, they are massive power consumers. So they're making blackouts in communities that they come in, which that place in Memphis that Elon
They are
Musk made.
fucking over
They
the
have
water
massive.
too, sir.
I don't know, Queen. You're just saying that, and I'm asking you how, and you don't know how. So I don't know what that means. I've never seen a data center. I've never seen a
I'm just
data
telling
center.
you what it is doing. Go fucking look it up.
But you stating it. If I state something, I know what I'm talking about. I can explain it to you. Data
I'm
centers
not gonna
consume. They don't
explain no
consume
shit.
water.
When I find out that they are poisoning the damn water, I'm not going to go research how the fuck they're doing it. All I care
Why
about is
wouldn't
that
you?
people are being poisoned by this thing, and then there are no regulations behind the shit, and these fucking lawsuits going on behind it. Like, if you don't know what it is, go look it up. Don't sit up here and tell
But
me that
why would
that's
I
not
look
true
up
when you
something
don't
that you
even know
ain't look
what the
up?
hell I'm talking about. The only thing you
Because
sitting
it
up
don't
here is talking
exist.
about energy consumption. It's more than that. It's fucking up the environment.
Where does the water go in the data centers? Because that's alleged. Where do they put the water at from the data centers? Where's the water coming from?
Uh, Give me 1 second. Let me get this shit for you because this
Yeah,
don't
where
make
the
no
water
sense.
coming from the data
Just
centers? Where the
hold on.
water
I'm
coming
gonna tell
from?
you. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna tell you. Okay.
Yeah, you made the statement. Don't get mad
No,
at me if
don't
I
worry
ask you
about it. I'm gonna
questions.
look it up for you.
Yeah, you should be able to explain it. You shouldn't be getting mad at me.
I'm not
They
getting
they
mad
have
at
a problem
you.
with
I'm getting
yeah, they
mad
have
at
a problem with
the fact
power.
that you sitting up here telling me that something don't exist that does exist. And I'm telling you to look it up. And you telling me, oh, I just need to tell you. So don't worry about it. Since I need to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and try to explain this shit to you by looking it the fuck up. And maybe when I read it to you, maybe then you will accept it.
I mean, if I make a statement, I know I have done the research on it. I don't make statements to tell somebody else to look something up.
Ain't no way
Yeah, that ain't how that goes.
you've done any research on this shit when that is a problem with these damn AI data centers is that they use up a whole lot of water.
How? How do they use water? How does an electric data frame use water? How?
To cool down data,
No, it
them
don't.
down, data centers
They don't
use
even
large
use
amounts
water
of
like
water.
that. They use
In
liquid. They
some
use
cases,
liquid water.
25% of local community water supply. In 2023, Google reported consuming over 6 billion gallons of water, nearly 23 billion liters to cool all of its data centers. In some data centers, the water is used up in the cooling process. Let's go over here and find out what's going on in Memphis.
Okay, here I am on the panel. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say earlier. Is that I know about AI data centers. They consume a lot of
Doesn't
water,
it doesn't it
specifically for
doesn't
what she just stated. Because
that's not the
when you
same
have
kind of
any type
water
of
though.
power, but when you
Hold
have
up, but
any
that's
type of
not the same
power,
kind of
All
water.
right.
That's not the same
So,
kind of water though. So y'all mixing them two different
that
things
is,
though.
but hold on, Patrick. That is affecting the environment. Now, Rose T in the chat, she's saying that, and I'm gonna look this up and see if there's any articles about it. But she's saying that the data centers they cause e-waste in these water systems, and that leads to lead and mercury contamination in the water. Now, I'm gonna look into
Yeah,
that. But
okay, so
what I've heard about is that specifically in places like Texas where there's very or where there's very finite sources of water, that these data centers they take up too much water. And the sister, wherever she
power.
read that article from, just
Yeah,
substantiated
but it's
that.
power. But Marky Dan, this is the thing with the water. When the data centers take water, they're not putting water around the cases. They mix that stuff up
data
with a
centers,
mixture. Hold on. They mix it up.
cleanwater.org.
Hold on, because I know a
The
lot about
water
this. That's
is
why I
being
asked you that.
poisoned in Minnesota because of the data centers.
That's not
Okay.
that's not how this goes, man. What they're doing is they take the
I'm not
water
gonna
in,
fucking argue
and
with you about information that I'm looking at. Like I'm
they don't.
fucking looking at the information. You sitting up here trying to tell me that what these people are sitting up here saying don't
You
exist.
just
Like
screaming,
fucking cut it the
Queen.
fuck out.
You just screaming, Queen. That's not. Because they take the water in the data center. When they put the water around the data center, it's liquid cooled. If you look up a liquid cooled system on a data center, on a computer, on whatever it is, it's not actual just water. It's a mixture that they use. Now, if they take that mixture and they pollute the land, yeah, maybe. That's maybe what you're talking about, but they're not taking the water and running around the system and sending it back through the sewer system. There's no way they can do that. It's impossible. You can't put water around a system like that. They have liquid cool systems. Those use a mixture of water and other things. Maybe that's what you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about. Just to say that they're polluted through water, that can't be a true statement. It's impossible.
I'm not.
But
I'm just
if
not.
it's
I'm
scheduled,
just telling you this. You got the internet right there in your hand, and if you care to look it up, go look it the fuck up.
But I know that they're having a problem with
You
power
don't know
because they're having a
because these people. I'm sitting up here looking at this information.
lots
Tell
of
how one, it's consuming water and it's contaminating water, and you sitting up here and telling me that it don't exist. And these are people that do water.
what people? I don't even know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
people?
What's the article you got that from, Queen? Just let me know.
No,
No
right
idea
now
what you're
I'm
talking about.
looking at the cleanwater.org website. They're talking about the issues that are happening in Minnesota. People in Tennessee, that's where I'm trying to find this lawsuit.
They have a
But
bunch of
people
them for
suing
power.
Elon Musk in Tennessee for poisoning their water behind this goddamn data center. There
Yeah,
we go.
well, it's
Memphis data
power
center
too.
police.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the Goliath one that they have for the power. And they just put that up. No reason. They didn't even get the proper clearances to even put that thing up. They just put that up. They've got a lot of power issues,
AI
blackouts, all kind of stuff
computer,
behind that.
toxic emissions. But this is what's going on in Memphis, Tennessee. So yeah, these data centers is poisoning the environment as well as poisoning these people's got doggone water. What are we talking about here?
So that's not all that is.
I'm seeing stuff about air pollution. I'm not seeing, and I've only read one article from the Lincoln Institute, but I'm looking.
So down here at the clean water action things, it is saying that the various chemicals in their cooling systems contaminate water as it works through the data system's cooling system. Refrigerants such as fluorinated gases, HFOs, HCFOs, which are types of PFAs. Okay, cooling loop chemicals, ethylene glycol, toxic liquid. It's used in antifreeze and other products, and water treatment chemical, nitrates, borates. This stuff is for protecting metals, phosphates, polymers, descalers, hydrogen peroxide. That's more environmentally friendly, but this other stuff, humans can't consume this shit. It's toxic to us. Not to mention that most of it's a lot of people in the United States of America that have kidney disease. They don't need phosphates in their water. That's gonna speed up the process. Scholar, Marky Dan is backstage. Checks and balances protect everyone. Corporate interests fight less for regulations. Now we lost our EPA. Man, these people trying to do all kind of stuff to us. They trying to, I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether this man trying to completely destroy the country, if he trying to sell the country. I don't know what he's doing, but this is an entire mess. It's to just see people who are like happy with what he's doing, or oh, he's great. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't have no protections whatsoever. These companies can run shot on us. The price of everything is skyrocketing. Ain't nobody getting no pay raise. Money ain't going up, but the cost of shit is going up. The middle class is continuously shrinking. This man we got people running our healthcare that ain't qualified to do shit. This man sat up here and said that black people don't need the same type of vaccine, the vaccines that everybody else needs,
Yeah,
because
that
we
shit.
have
He
messages in
has a
our body
crackhead.
that's gonna keep us safe and shit like that. Like we got so many unqualified, quack, fucked up, racist motherfuckers running this damn country and running it into a hole, and people is
Preach,
sitting up here
preach,
tripping for this shit like everything is okay.
preach. I mean, they got a crackhead, or excuse me, a former. No, he is a crackhead and a former heroin addict in charge of the Department of Health and Human Resources.
Yeah,
And
the
like you
same man
just
that want to
said,
take black
like
children and put them on a farm so they can be reparented. That nigga, when he ain't no
yeah,
nigga.
no. So like,
That crack.
imagine your little like you can't even take your little fucking baby outside no more, especially until they get that vaccine, because you don't know what the fuck these little kids, or specifically these maggot kids, are walking around with these dumbass fucking parents that don't want to vaccinate their kids. Now I got all my kids. My two sons, they're 5, and well, my son and my nephew are 7 and 5 years old, and then my littlest child is 1.5, and the littlest one is vaccinated for measles right now, and hepatitis B and COVID, and the other two they got all their shots they got all their shots, and they don't have to get no more until they're 11. But if
So
but
my,
if you
my
don't,
the school my children go to with my daughter. It might have been high school as well. They sent out a thing talking about they got a damn chicken pox outbreak. How?
like, all that shit is supposed to be eradicated by now.
How you get a chicken pox outbreak? Where it come from?
From fucking maggots, maggot kids, maggots, by those fucking dummies. I mean, it just really is fascinating to me to see how he could it's like he tries his best to appoint the most utterly incompetent, utterly like confidently stupid people that he can to these positions. Like it really
Well,
is just amazing to me.
no. What's amazing is not that they're just incompetent. Everybody that he appointed had something negative to say with the way he did things, but they had no problem sitting in his cabinet. And that's the problem. Because if you compromise your values in your words for a position, then what type of position are these people going to put us in as the American people? They'll compromise their own values to gain something. Okay? Because Pam Bundy sat up there and tried to hide the Epstein files. Okay,
Yes,
when
she did.
she before she was put as the what was her position? I forgot.
Attorney General of the United States.
Before she was the AG. Okay, she was talking about how she liked pedophiles and how all of this stuff needed to be done with men that abuse women and all this type of stuff. She gets invited to his cabinet, all this shit go out the window. Same stuff with Tulsi Gabbard. The only reason why Tulsi Gabbard ass ain't got tossed up out of there is because she got a Trump card. She's sitting up there talking about how she gathering evidence to bring charges against Barack Obama, and he been having a hard up
That's a
since.
bunch of bullshit.
Huh?
That's a bunch of bullshit. It's just something they had to say in the fucking news like 9 months ago, and then they never talked about it again.
She's been saying this shit since she got up there. Every once in a while, she'll come out and say that that's her Trump card for keeping her job. She keeps telling Trump, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna bring him up on charges." That's how she's staying in her position. You see, they don't
But
put her up nowhere else. The only
but
reason why
the,
Trump keep her around is because he believes that she really gonna find some charges to bring against this man.
she
Trump
won't,
been backing Obama ever
and
since.
even if she did, the stuff that she's talking about happened while Barack Obama was president, and because of United States versus Donald Trump and Donald Trump's Supreme Court, Barack Obama has immunity for anything that he did during that time. So it's like it's a waste of fucking time. It's just a distraction that they bring up. Like literally, that stuff she said was happening at the same time that Elon Musk got pissed off and said Donald Trump is in the Epstein files.
Donald Trump been after Obama ever since Obama was president, and he contacted one of his advisors and had the advisors suggest this damn ballroom he keep talking about to Obama, and Obama declined that shit. So he been after Obama's ass ever since. That's when Obama declined his idea of this ballroom shit. That's when he started that birthday shit, talking about Obama need to show his damn birth certificate. Okay.
That's even before the fucking ballroom. Like, I mean, he's just always hated the fact that a black man was president of the United States of America, especially somebody
Yeah,
with
but
a weird name. And
that's
then
where
it's like
it's
everything Barack Obama tried to put in place, Donald Trump has torn down just because
that
it had Obama's name on it. Obamacare. Like what you see now, the subsidies for Obamacare, now 20% of people are dropping out of the marketplace. And you see different insurers like Cigna. Cigna is going to leave the marketplace next year because there's no more government subsidies. And then I mean, the whole thing with him ripping up the Iran nuclear deal is because it was called the Obama-Iran nuclear deal. It's just about tearing down anything that fucking black man put in place. Because he can't stand it. He can't stand the fact that no matter what he does, Barack Obama will always be more loved and more well received by the American people, even by a lot of Republicans, than this fucking retard.
it was actually called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action.
Yeah, but it's colloquially called the the Obama nuclear deal.
And
The same way how Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act, but we call it Obamacare.
yeah, he wants to erase Hey Slewfoot, he wants to erase the fact that there is a black man that's ever been president. That is true as well. And even at that correspondence dinner. But before that correspondence dinner happened, it was that damn ballroom shit. That's when he started that birther movement. And so, like, I don't know what this man is doing. This man has the shit that he's done is illegal. I'm not understanding how Congress is still allowing this man to sit up here in his seats. They're absolutely not doing their job. Mike Johnson suspended the House again. They not coming back to work for another 2 weeks. Like,
Mike Johnson is pathetic. He is the worst speaker of the House we've had, I'll say at least in the 21st century. I mean, just no fucking nuts. No fucking nuts at all whatsoever. It's like the Speaker of the House is meant to be its own position of power. His position is co-equal and separate from the president. He's supposed to like wield it, but instead he's subservient to the executive branch. I've never seen nobody like that in my entire life. You can't compare it to nobody. Even Nancy Pelosi pushed back on on Joe Biden when it came to Title 42 and all those COVID expulsions and throwing the kids in the cages. But this fucking guy, if Donald Trump said that he wanted to nuke Europe tomorrow, Mike Johnson will come out the next day and try to find a way to defend it. I've just never seen nobody that spineless in my entire life. And I don't know what you do with people like that. I
I
really
don't
don't.
think they spineless. I think they're fucking racist.
That too.
Most of this stuff can be talked out to racism and money. Every time Trump get up there and tell a lie and the market shoot up, his family and whoever is around them that they doing the insider trading with make money while everybody else fucking suffers from this shit. That man has enriched himself over $5 billion since he's been sitting in the seat of POTUS. Since when do presidents make money like that while they sitting in office?
They don't.
But everybody is just keep going on like none of this shit is wrong. Like all of this is okay. While he continuously rolling back different protections, constantly putting us in this. Like, I honestly think that they really trying to fuck off the population. I don't know what this shit is he got going on with Putin. Putin, he trying to be Putin's friend. Putin is feeding intel to Iran. But Trump keep kissing him up in his ass. Trump removed the sanctions off of Russia so Russia can profit off of getting oil. Meanwhile, we about to pay $7, $8, $9, $10 a gallon for gas. How do any of that make sense?
It don't. And Scholar already know what I think. I mean, Epstein said it. I don't know if you read that Epstein email, sis, where Epstein was talking to his brother. Yeah, Epstein was talking to his brother, and he said, does Putin still have that picture of Trump blowing Bubba? And who was the one person Donald Trump will not make up names about, will not call names, he will not insult, will do anything he can to try and basically blow him up or pump him up and say, Putin's strong. I mean, Donald Trump will even make up names about the Pope, but he will not say one word out of order about that man Putin. And we know what it's about. He got that photo. Putin got the pictures. Putin got that bubble photo. And it really don't need to be more explained than that.
FBA about to be illegal. The FBA ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't got no problem with no immigrants. Do the United States need a better immigrant policy? Yes, we do. But immigrants is not the cause of any of this shit.
No. Part of me wants, if God could snap his fingers and take away all the immigrants and illegal immigrants for just 1 week, I wish that Americans could really see what that shit would feel like. They will be begging for illegal immigrants to come back. Because any fucking study or data shows you that immigrants, even illegals, are a boon to the U.S. economy. But they are so, and it's like you said, they're so racist, they're so hateful. And then one of the great quotes from what was Kennedy's vice president, Lyndon B. Johnson? If you could convince the white man that he's superior to somebody else, he won't take the time to notice that you're robbing him blind. So when we were going through all that inflation, despite the fact it was because of supply shortages due to the Ukraine war and other things due to COVID, the Republicans continually pushed the line. It's the illegals' fault. It's the illegals. We got too many illegals. We got too many people coming in. It's all their fault. You can't get a job, even though we had record low unemployment rates. It's all their fault. Everything is going up. The cost of housing is going up. It's all their fault that the price to buy a house is going up, even though these people are too fucking poor to buy houses. And all the houses are getting bought up by Blackstone. And I gotta give the Republicans a lot of credit. I mean, they're evil geniuses. They're really good at talking that racist rigmarole.
People really just don't make no sense.
It's to the point where they even got the FBAs. They got blacks siding with white supremacist talking points.
But see, that's part of being in the belly of the beast in this country. Like, it is still black folks sitting up here having conversations about how everything is awesome, all this shit is okay. Meanwhile, these people just took our voting power away. And I'm not seeing very much conversation about that. Like, that's a major fucking blow to us as citizens in this country. And most of these folks are just going. These people is sitting up here want to talk about some damn Meg Thee Stallion and Clay, whatever the hell his name is. Who gives a fuck? These people just stripped away our voting rights. In a minute, you finna see white only signs hanging on the doors of restaurants and shit, and everybody just act like ain't nothing happening. It's
the problem.
For the people that live in sanctuary cities, I can kind of understand their frustration, but it's only because of the actions that these Republican governors did. They rallied up all these illegals and dropped them off in them places without even letting them cities know that they was gonna send them people over there. So now these people got an influx of people that they weren't expecting to be there and didn't have the resources available to shelter them. That is not their fault. But that shit that them Republican governors did was illegal and they ain't been prosecuted for it.
But at the same time, and where I do sympathize with that tactic that the Republican governors on the border states did, their communities were not ready for those people pouring over the border, and they didn't have the resources to share. And meanwhile, you had Joe Biden, and I think Joe Biden was good on a lot of different things. He was a great legislator during his time, but you had Joe Biden literally tell people, "Surge the border." He said that. That's on video. So, hey, if our fucking cities are getting destroyed and our resources are getting pulled and wasted, let's share the goddamn problem. So I can sympathize with them on that point. But hey, if I'm gonna get fucked, let's all get fucked. But at the same time, I mean that it was just a perfect storm. It was a perfect storm of all type of bad shit that happened for Republicans to get back in power.
Yeah, and they are running shot and nobody's stopping them. That is what's most concerning. They're twisting like now the damn Supreme Court just sat up here and twisted the meaning of the Voting Rights Act, and it's just like, bruh, what's the fuck? They coming for the 15th Amendment.
Well, the problem is that the 15th Amendment, or I don't know if it's the 15th or the 10th or the 14th Amendment that has the Equal Protections Clause, and the Constitution is meant to be colorblind. It's meant to be, but at the same time, at the time of different things like affirmative action and the Civil Rights Act, when they were ruling on it back then, way back then, at the time they acknowledged that yes, the Constitution is meant to be colorblind, but at the same time, we have historical wrongs that need to be mended. And even when you look back at 20 years before they struck down affirmative action, the justices even said this is meant to be temporary. So this shit was always going to happen unless we were able to get a liberal majority back into power before this case came before them. But it was never going. It just wasn't going to happen because Republicans, they played dirty games. Mitch McConnell did not let Barack Obama choose his Supreme Court justice, and then the Democrats were so fucking weak. After Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, they just let him go through. They didn't even bother to try and stall to see if they could stall all the way to the elections. They just let I think it was Kavanaugh. They just let his appointment go through. I mean, like it's both. Like both parties have a hand in it, in the fact that the Democrats were too fucking weak, and then on the other hand, that the Republicans, they just run roughshod whenever the fuck they can.
Yeah, the fact that Democrats are just dragging their feet on doing anything make me feel like that they in on this shit too. It's like our government is attacking us as the people. And our Constitution does say if our government becomes tyrannical, violent, or not for the people, we got the right to overthrow it. But Americans seem to be too docile and laid back for this shit because none of this shit should be going on. It
Well,
should not.
the problem is we don't have nuts like our founders. Our founders had nuts. Our founders were actual terrorists. Like they were really willing to fucking die. Like if our founders were living nowadays, they would be suicide bombers, like strapping bombs to their chests and running into federal courthouses. Like that's the type of timing they would be on. That's not who the fuck we are. Like we're too comfortable. And then it's like specifically people that come from the hood or they come from high violence areas. They're just worried about killing the people that's around them instead of focusing on the government. Because they feel like that's a battle that's already lost. So it's like I mean, it's like what do you do? And even just talking about the black community specifically, it's like anytime we tried to progress, they put their foot on us any goddamn way. They started offering women welfare to kick their men out of the house. They started pumping our communities with drugs through Iran Contra so that they could funnel money to the Contras
They
in
didn't offer
Nicaragua.
black women no
And
welfare to
then they
put men
came out with
out
the
of the house.
crime bill.
Now that's not true.
What'd you say?
They didn't offer the women money to put men out of the house. That's not true.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. They
What
never
happened
put
there?
no dude out of the house. Matter of fact, that one time that they tried it, they was sued and that shit was deemed unconstitutional. So that's not been a thing. Now if a worker came and they found a man in the house, and you depend on who your worker was. And the only reason why I know this is because my mama used to be one of them people when I was real little. I'm talking about toddler size. Somewhere between my early years to about the age of 5. She was one of the inspectors. And if she went into a house and a man was there, if he wasn't doing shit to contribute to that house, she would go and cut off their benefits. She would tell him he had to leave. They can't put nobody out of the house. For the men that was actually in there contributing to the household, as long as they could show that that man was contributing to their household, she didn't bother them. So basically, what
My
has happened is they set up here and told lies because prior to the inspections happening, like Pure just said, welfare was for white women who had deadbeat fathers because what actually happened for their programs to even be put into place was white men were deserting their children. And this was at a time where it was frowned upon for women to be in the workforce. And so these women couldn't get jobs to um they couldn't get jobs to provide for their children. And so what was happening was we got malnourished children, malnourished white children in the United States, which is going to cause a public health problem because if children don't get proper nutrition, they grow into adults that have deficiencies and issues, which will cause a problem in the workforce. And so to fix that, they created these social programs that initially were only available to white women. White men was leaving their families going up north. Cause at the same time you got the industrial revolution going on. And when they would get up there, instead of sending money back home to their families, they would just start new families. And sometimes they would start them new families and desert them as well. That's where welfare came from.
Yeah, my understanding of our welfare and Section 8 and SNAP and them different programs is that you have to your household has to your household total income has to be below the state's like real median income average.
Yeah, you
So
have to be below the
that's
poverty
how
line.
what you say, sis?
You got to be below the poverty line.
Right, exactly. And so if
Mhm.
you had a working man in the house, I thought at least what I believed is what I believed. You sound to be more educated on the topic than me. I thought that if you had a man in the house who was providing, they would not put you on that.
No.
Yeah, if you had a certain amount of money. See, this is the thing. There are different programs, okay? There are programs that families can apply for, but there are certain programs that are for single women. So if you say that you are a single woman and you fucking married, but you applied for the program that's for single women, if they find out, they're gonna kick your ass off the program because you didn't apply for the correct program.
Well, Marky Dan,
You
they
can
got
be a
specific.
man and working to provide for your family. If you don't make enough to provide for your family, you can get assistance. When they say men can't get it, that's a lie. That's against the law. You cannot discriminate based on age, sex, or gender. That's
No, but I'm
illegal.
talking about specific. I was talking about specifically in that era
No, I'm
of the
telling you,
'70s.
that's never been a thing. That shit is illegal. You can't do that. That's why, like, when
No,
black people be
I know
like,
niggas get snapped. I know niggas are on sec or
But
excuse
they
me.
don't.
Let me
But they
not say
don't get
niggas,
it.
but black. I know men
But
are
they,
on Section A and SNAP.
but they don't. But
yes,
look, the
you
difference.
can't do that. They have to apply for the proper program, but there was never, first of all, if you're getting assistance, the government can't put you out of your house. That's not the government's place. What they can do is cut the funding.
But they don't. But they can do. It's different though, because most women have primary care of the kids for whatever reason. So a man that is applying is usually a single man. So his qualifications for all of those programs is minimal at best. If he gets food stamps, it's very few dollars. If he get any housing assistance, it's very few dollars. When a woman has kids or any parent has kids, their qualification levels go up and they qualify for more stuff. They have those programs where if they get late on the utility bills, they can go to those community centers and they'll pay the utility bills. Like, it's a whole different thing. Yeah, do you qualify for some of that stuff? Yes. Will you get some of that stuff? Yes. Without having kids, will you get the same level of that stuff? Probably not. It's probably not even going to knock it in most of the stuff. So that's probably the difference.
No, people are just uneducated and they sit up here and say men can't get this shit, and they can't because they can't discriminate against you because of your sex.
With no kids, without kids, you're not gonna. So without kids, are you gonna get the same level of any of that stuff that you're talking about?
Yes, it's men without kids that get Section 8.
No, they don't. Not nothing of significance. Not nothing of significance because it's based off your kids.
But sis, your dependence, like if you have kids, that doesn't raise the amount of money you get for SNAP.
Yes,
so what
it
happens
does.
is it's a qualifier per person, right? So you can go get an apartment for a certain amount of money, but if you got children, you can get an apartment for a larger amount of money because you need more space.
No, they give you more rooms.
Or a single woman, if they're under the poverty line, can apply for assistance and they can get it.
Because I be seeing, like Pittsburgh, I be seeing the Ashkenazi Jews, they be having 7 kids.
Yes, and they get money from students.
And then the men don't work, and the women don't work either. So they just get assistance, and then they buy, or rather, they have Section 8 vouchers pay for them to pay their mortgages, rather, because they go and get houses instead of going to apartments.
Yes, because you got Section 8 and then you got public housing. But
the women are probably filing. They're not putting the men down, and then they're taking that money, and then they're not actually putting out, just like how most people do in the hood. They don't put all the income that's coming into their house onto that, and they don't put them in there. It's well known that when the person gets the inspection from the Section 8, the man leave the house, take all his clothes out of the house so that he doesn't leave any evidence. So when they get that annual inspection, he's not there. All communities do that. That's not just black people. All people do that. So when a single man does it,
true. There are programs that are also for families.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about Section 8.
I'm giving real education, not this ghetto nigga shit that most people think
about. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me
finish.
There are
people that actually go and apply for the correct programs. And there is no discrimination from getting these programs just because
I never said it was discrimination, Queen.
And I'm not talking about what you said.
I never said
to Mark the Dad. I'm giving.
Okay, but I was trying to finish what I was saying, Queen.
That he didn't have. Okay, I'm not talking about this nigga shit. I'm talking about the reality of things that most people don't know about because motherfuckers don't read.
So you gonna cut me off and say that? You gonna cut me off and say I wasn't talking about any of that stuff you're talking about?
There is plenty of single men that get Section 8. Them niggas,
they don't get nothing
right now. We hold platforms talking about they goddamn Section 8. Okay,
Wait,
you just just go to the Section 8 sector. Go to the government. It's literally a government assistance sector on YouTube.
I never said they don't get Section 8, Queen. I never said that.
Section 8 and will tell you they on Section 8 and they proud of they goddamn Section 8.
I never said that.
I was only talking about the 70s when I made that comment that welfare was encouraging that government programs were encouraging black women specifically, to kick the man out of the home. That's what I was talking about when I said that.
Yeah, still is.
That's not true.
If you're telling me that's not true, I've been listening to you.
That's true.
I haven't been combating you.
That is true. That's absolutely true.
Because my mama worked at those programs. They didn't kick no man out no house. That's a damn lie. That's always
they're not kicking the man.
The government kicked the man out of the home.
The government has never kicked the man out of the house. That's not true.
Queen, they're not kicking the man out of the house. What happens is if a woman puts down that she has another income in the house, her benefits that she's going to receive is going to go down. Her voucher amount that she gets monthly is going to go down. They're not going to give her the same Section 8 voucher.
Hold on, of course.
So if your voucher is going to go down and you're a woman and you're going to put this man's income down and your voucher amount is going to go down, then essentially that woman is not going to claim that man on the income. So she has to put him out when the inspection comes. Put his stuff out. She got to act like he's not there. So she's not.
She can apply for the proper
Queen,
program.
hold on, Queen. Let me talk. Hold on. We heard you. I'm talking about Section 8. That's based off your income.
Section 8 has programs that is for families.
Okay, Queen, I'm talking. I heard what you said. When you're dealing with Section 8, it's based off your income. When you're dealing with food stamps, that's based off your income. So therefore, most people, don't matter what the ethnicity, it ain't got nothing to do with no nigga shit. Because just like he said, the Ashkenazi Jews were doing the same shit. They do not put all their income down because they get less of a benefit if they put that man's income down, even if he's making $40,000 a year. It's $40,000 a year against whatever benefits they have. So if they got Section 8 and they was going to get $1,500 a month, now they finna get $600 a month. If they was finna get food stamps and they was gonna get $1,000, now they finna get $400. So they're not gonna include that income. So essentially, they have taken that man, his income, and him out of that house. He does not exist as far as claiming that house for income tax, claiming for any purposes of meaning. He can't do it because that house is tied up to all those benefits. So he's out of the house, not physically, but he is not established there anymore.
You said all of that, and the fact of the matter is, if your household is under the poverty line, then you apply under the family rules. Now, if your ass want to scam the government and pretend like you don't have a family, that's a different thing. There's some shit you going to jail for when they find out that you scamming the government. But yes, you can have a family and still get assistance if you're under the poverty line. There's a lot of families that do it, which is why I'm saying that there are programs you don't have to sit up here and scam the government so you can get more money. It is no different than if a woman was getting all these benefits and then she found a job, her benefits would decrease. Simple as that. This ain't they was kicking me out. No, the fuck, that's never been a thing. That is a lie.
That's just what I just described. What I described is what happened. That's not physically kicking a man out of the house. It's no different than people going and lying on their taxes. People go to a certain tax person so they can put down certain things so they can get more of an increase for their taxes. People always trying to shade the government to get more money, which is their logical right because they see everybody else doing it. People ain't no honest Joes when it comes to these programs, which is fine. I don't have no problem with that, but we got to be like realistic about this stuff. No, they're
some
not.
People
most people not.
They go do it correctly.
Some ain't most. Some ain't most. Most people ain't. Most people ain't. When they file their taxes, they want the largest income. They want the largest income.
No,
they don't.
Most people do the law. That's why we have the working poor. That's why when people get up here and start talking about this thing that you're talking about, these people are in the minority. Most people are smart enough not to try and defraud the government because the government is going to find out. And when they find out, your ass is at risk of going to jail. They are going to put a seizure on your shit. So when you get a job, you're going to have to pay them back. And you're going to be disexcluded from being able to get any assistance from the government ever again. So smart people don't do that shit. They just go through the right channels and do the right thing. Most of these people that have a family are on a different program. They not fucking packing up clothes and sending a man out because the inspector is coming.
Most women. Or let me not say most, but you had some women. They just have a bunch of kids by a bunch of different dudes, and then have their own apartment, and then live separately from those dudes.
And then the other part to it too is like you got to remember, like, look, we got to be realistic about this stuff too. Like those programs have a threshold of an income. Majority of them, a large number of those things are by income. And the income goes up when you have two people in a household, but never to the effect that most people are willing to put two people in there. The garbage man, the UPS man, the guy that works at Coca-Cola, he might have a job every day and be laid up with a woman, and he's not on any of that paperwork, and that lady is getting government assistance. That happens every single day. There's never been a year that that's not happened. What percentage of people are doing that? I don't know, but it's based off income. So that's always going to be a thing. That's never not going to be a thing. As long as it's based off income, that's what you're going to get. People ain't going to be honest. Why would they be? You're not incentivizing people to tell the truth
Anyway,
because it
Marky
ain't about the
Dan,
kids.
that's not a thing. That's the
I,
government
I don't
can't
know.
put you out of your damn house. Now they can cut benefits if they find out that you lying about your income because it is income based, and that's how they
So,
goes.
I
so
agree.
if they cut your benefits and a woman looking around, that's putting you out your house. That's what. It's not a physical thing. It's more of the conflict that it creates because of that money that man or woman is making is not enough. So they have to remove that person off of all the paperwork that's associated with that
You keep
house.
repeating this shit when I done sat up here and told you that families can apply for benefits if they're under the poverty line. What the fuck are you talking about?
Most people ain't under the poverty line, Queen. That's not most of
Okay, so
America.
then
It's a
they're
small percentage
scamming
of
the
America that's on
government.
poverty line. Okay, so
Then they
most people
scamming the
scamming the government.
government. You
Yes,
talking
most
about
people are.
criminals.
Yes, when
Okay, I'm
people
not
file their
talking about
taxes,
criminals. I'm educating Marky Dan on the fact that ain't nobody putting no motherfucker out no house.
so the people who file bad on their taxes, that
Okay,
they go to the tax
I
man,
might have
that's a
said
criminal
that. I
then.
might have said that wrong. That's not what I might have meant. But in a certain sense, it incentivized women, or I mean, how do I say it? It incentivized black people not to get married, specifically black people of
Yes,
a certain income level.
yes, it does. Of
That
course it
don't make
does.
no sense either because families can apply for assistance if they need it. Most of the people that are getting welfare are families. They are considered the working poor. But most people don't go and research and learn nothing about it because all they know is this ghetto shit. That is not the majority of people that's getting assistance.
Queen,
Most of
most
the
people are
people that's
making
getting
$40,000
assistance
a
are
year.
families.
Yeah,
If you don't believe me,
Queen.
know this. Most of the people that are getting assistance live in rural America. Go to rural America and look at them people. Those are families. It's a
Most
man,
men.
it's a woman, and it's a bunch of goddamn kids. And
Yeah,
they're
but if a
getting
man,
government assistance.
but they're not below the poverty line. If a man
They
makes
are
50 and a
below the
woman makes
poverty
30,
line
no, they're
because
not.
that is how you get
No,
assistance.
it's not. No, no, you don't qualify for as much of assistance if you're not below the poverty line, but you qualify for assistance. Being below the poverty line means you get more assistance. So you can get assistance without being below the poverty line.
Well,
So
you
that's
have
that's
to
not
be
true.
below or on the poverty line to
No,
get
you don't.
assistance. If you are above the poverty line, you don't qualify for
That's
assistance.
not true, Queen. That ain't true. That ain't even
Show me
remotely
where
close
it's
to
not
it.
true.
So what's the okay? So let's go.
Show
What
me
city you
where
want to
it's
go
not
to?
true. Show me where
That
it's
that ain't
not
even
true.
remotely close. That ain't look. I'll give you an example.
Show me where
Let's
it's
go through the
not true.
program.
You sitting
Okay,
up
cool.
here
I'm
talking
gonna
to
show you.
somebody
I'm gonna
whose
show you if you stop
parents
talking.
was in this
Um,
shit. So you gonna tell me what I know and
you don't know every
show
city,
me, give
Queen.
me
I'm telling
a
you.
source as to where it's not true.
Cool, cool. I'm gonna link it in the chat. There's a program called Section 8. Section 8 is a program that people get for housing. They get a voucher to go down there for housing. A person that's on Section 8 can pass that down to their fucking kids. And they're already in the program. The amount of that puts them in the program at the top of the list when they have an availability to get Section 8. The amount of money that you make depends on the amount that you get for a voucher and also the amount of kids that you get. You are not if you have Section 8 and your kids are applied up under there, they'll put you in the program. Those other factors put you in Section 8. They don't deny you the right to have Section 8. So the idea that you have to be below poverty, that's absolutely not true. And we can go
That
through
is
the
true.
actual
You have
literature
to
of
be
it.
below the
No,
poverty
you don't.
line to qualify for assistance. That's why it's an income requirement. If you are above the poverty line, they're not gonna give you shit.
You heard you yelled at like 20 times already. That don't make it true
And
because
I'm
you're yelling.
gonna keep saying it because you keep saying this stupid shit and it's a fucking lie.
Sis, because you're yelling and it makes it true.
No, because I know it's true. The shit that you're saying is a lie. That what if you
So
don't have to be
everybody
under
on
the
Section
poverty
8 is
line,
on
then why
poverty.
the fuck are
So
they
you believe,
checking your income? And just because you can pass it down to your kids, they gonna verify their fucking income too. And if they are above the poverty line, they're not getting no assistance. Like, stop
Queen.
telling these people dumb shit.
Queen, everybody that gets Section 8 work at McDonald's, that's what you believe? That's what you believe. Everybody that gets Section 8 work at McDonald's and Burger King, that's what you believe? You don't know correction officers that got Section 8? You don't know the people that work at certain places
Do
that
they
got
live
40
up
hours
under
a
the
week?
poverty line?
That's nurses, that's those nurse aides, they
That's
don't
because
live
you
below
are
the
a
poverty
nurse.
line. They
Does
do
not
not.
mean that you don't live under the poverty line. If you a nurse
All
and
right,
you got 6 fucking kids, you probably meet
they
the
don't have
poverty
no
line
6 kids.
qualifications.
People not even having that many kids, Queen. So now you just throwing stuff against the wall. People don't even. The average people having
What
2
are you
kids
even
at
talking
most.
about?
The median of people having kids ain't no 6. It's 2.
What are you talking about? What nurse
What you talking about?
did
You talking about 6
get
kids?
Section 8?
I know people that got Section 8 and ain't in no
You
fucking
know a nurse
poverty.
that got Section 8.
Yes,
Like, how many
because there's
kids she
different
got?
levels of 2. She's CNA.
And what kind of nurse is she?
She's a
She can't
CNA.
be
I
a
just said it.
RN.
I just said she's a CNA. She's not an RN. Is that not a nurse?
Boo-boo. That's a low
That's a nurse,
quality
right?
job that has low
No, I
pay.
ain't no quality nurse. Okay, cool.
Typically make minimum wage.
LPN.
So
Yeah,
maybe
CNAs
it's
and
gonna put her
LPNs.
under the poverty line. So she
No,
would
it's not.
qualify for assistance.
CNAs and LPNs are getting Section 8. So that whole idea
Yes,
that you're
because
pushing
they
out.
have low paying jobs, sir.
So LPNs are low paying jobs too.
An
Come
LPN is
on,
not even
Queen.
a qualification
Come on,
for a nurse
Queen.
anymore. They got
Correction
away from that.
officers.
You can't even get
Correction
that degree
officers.
anymore.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can
No,
in
you
certain
cannot.
states.
I got
All
a
right, cool,
degree
cool. You know
in
all
healthcare.
states.
I have a bachelor's in science.
Cool.
You're not finna
You know all
tell me
states.
what the fuck
You know all states.
qualifies as a degree. A LPN is no longer a qualifiable degree for nursing.
Queen, you yelling don't make what you're saying relevant. It don't make it more relevant.
Me
So correction,
yelling
I
is
know.
because you talking over me. I'm
No, because
telling
you're
you
talking
what the fuck
nonsense.
I
I'm not
know.
talking over you. You just
LPN
talking.
no longer exists. You cannot get that degree as a nurse anymore. It's been
Okay,
that
so
way for at least 5 years, if not more.
cool, Queen, cool. Correctional officers have Section 8. It's correct. Women who are correctional officers, they have Section 8. That's a fact. So this idea that all this poverty stuff that you're talking, that don't exist. That you only can get it when you're in the poverty. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. That's the stuff you're just repeating.
Ain't nobody buying what you sitting up here selling. In order to qualify for assistance, your ass have to be on or below the poverty line. They have a data sheet that they use to qualify. That includes the number of people in your family. If you got children, your children do not work. So your children qualify as a person that's not bringing in income. So they have a certain amount that they need to live, and you got a certain amount that you need to live. And when you add all of that shit up together, if it don't hit the poverty line, you get to have assistance. It don't matter what your job is. It's about your income. Y'all need to stop lying and telling people nonsense.
Quinn, you just talking. I'm looking it up right now to provide links because I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you when I know something is a fact. And you just screaming it don't make it true. There's plenty of people in America that get assistance and they're not in poverty. Assistance is just that. The level of assistance that you get depends on how much money you make. So that ain't even remotely true. And I found it right now. It says, no, you do not need. Let me find the link for it. Because it's right here, clear as day. You do not have to be under poverty to have Section 8. Just like I thought. No, that's a fact. No, plenty of people will well to do jobs. You're just making stuff up.
All right, Richard. Look, I'm glad. I'm glad y'all understand what I'm saying. I don't know. People are crazy as hell. Don't go scamming the government, baby. They're gonna find out. They're gonna come after your ass, and you're gonna be fucked. Okay, just go. There are programs for families. If you got a family, if you got a man in the house, and y'all ain't making ends meet, and y'all fall up under the poverty line, y'all can get assistance. You don't have to scam the government to get assistance. You don't. Okay. Now, I don't know. Under this administration, they trying to take all that shit away. Hell, they done did away with most of it. But But right now, for the little bit that you can get, if your ass is under the poverty line, you ain't got to pack no man up and put him out of the house. Okay? Just go down there and apply for what you qualify for. That's it. She said, so I was an E5 living in the DC area. My family of 5 had to make less than $29K to receive assistance. We made 32. We were still drowning in debt and had no money. Exactly, because y'all wasn't under the poverty line, so they wasn't gonna give y'all shit. And that's how they go. Now, it's some military families that qualify for assistance, and most of the time, they got a bunch of damn kids.
That ain't true, Queen. That ain't what HUD. I'm looking at HUD official website, and I'm putting the link right here. That's not what that says. None of that says what you just said. The amount you can qualify for your amount.
Links to prove to me that this shit is right. I might believe y'all, but considering that I got up close and personal experience with this shit, y'all not finna sit up here and tell me this bullshit.
I'm not telling you nothing. I'm telling you, I'm reading what HUD.gov says. That's what the HUD site says, which they established the rules for.
You just sat up here and told me something's true.
I just got to put the link right there. It's right there. You don't want to believe it? That's on you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah, that's on you. Yeah, that's on you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. It's there. It's there, and it tells you how they gauge it out. And then nowhere in there does it say you have to. It's a requirement to be below the poverty line. It does not exist. That is not a thing.
Where are even the requirements at that you was looking at? What are you talking about? Oh, data income limits. Let's look at this shit. 2026 income limits. All right, data, Excel, data for Section 8 income limits. Open it. Come on, open it. Ooh. So the number is different for every city and state inside the United States.
Yeah, so there's no poverty line. The poverty line is universal. It don't exist, what you just said.
No, it's not universal because the cost of living is different in every state.
Where's the poverty line at?
Which is why income assistance is something that is controlled by the state and not the federal government.
Where do you come up with the poverty line? Let's start with some basic understanding. Where do you come up with the poverty line?
Y'all just say dumb shit all the time.
No, you're just saying stuff. No, you're just
and don't know what the hell you talking about.
No, you're just screaming.
Say stupid shit.
Who the federal government determines the poverty line? That's who determines the poverty line. Wait, nobody else. Nobody else determines the government of the poverty line.
Okay, so then if that's the case, please explain to me why this fucking data sheet that talks about income has every city for every state and the amount of money that they're gonna allot to people. Please tell me that.
Yeah, based on what you make. Yeah, based on what you make is what, like I said, based on what you make is how much you qualify for. It doesn't mean that you do not qualify. You said you cannot. Hold on, Queen. You said you can. Your statement was you cannot get public assistance unless you make below the poverty line. That is not true. How much money you make determines how much you get, but that doesn't mean that you don't qualify at all.
That state.
What state doesn't go by that?
In the military, they give you this thing called BAH. Everybody don't get the same BAH. You know why? Because the cost of living is not the same in every place. And so every state is going to have their parameters about what your income should look like because of the cost of living of that particular place.
So you're just going against your own statement. You're just proving yourself wrong, Queen. That's all you're doing. You said if you get them below poverty
I'm
line,
not
you don't.
proving
So
myself wrong. You just sitting up here saying dumb shit, and you being proven wrong, and you can't just accept the fact that you wrong.
who makes the poverty line, Queen?
You never accept the fact that you wrong.
No. Who makes the poverty line? Who makes the poverty line that we talking about? Is it who makes it? Who established the poverty line?
There is a federal poverty line, and then there is the state poverty line.
Queen.
The state determines what their poverty line is for their states and their different cities inside of their states. And the federal government determines a federal poverty line based on census data that they get. And so that is how the federal government determines how much money they're going to delegate to the states, so these states can regulate the money that the federal government gives them for these programs.
That's your statement. That's what you believe. That's what you believe.
Rose. Richard, you and these Somalis, all the Somalis ain't out there scamming, sir. And I wouldn't be boasting about that, because the lady that helped them Somalians start that scam was a whole dusty behind mud seal class white woman. So there's nothing to be proud of. Okay, y'all learning from the people that came and started this country was the low level degenerate Europeans that they didn't even want in Europe. Okay, and these is most of the people that is out here doing the absolute most. We have a mud seal president that is destroying the country. So I wouldn't be proud to be following a mud seal white woman in criminal activity. I'm just saying. And yeah, you can say that they understand the system enough to get what they want up out of it. And you're right, because like a lot of people in America that end up getting got by the government is because they tried to scam the government instead of just taking some time to read and understand some literature to see how they can get what they can get. And that's true.
Man, people scamming. You tripping, Wayne. Some people knew what they was doing. That's why that Ilhan got herself in all that mess she got in right now behind that. A scammer is a scammer. It's in every ethnicity. That ain't even true. You know, some people, it ain't no miseducation. They scamming. There's people that's going to try to manipulate the government. There ain't no miseducation. They fucking scammers. They know what they doing. The person who go lie on their taxes and the person that lied to the food stamp office or welfare or whatever, that's a scammer. They know exactly what they doing. They ain't making no mistake behind what they doing. Those are scammers. They ain't making no fucking mistake. Ain't no miseducation. Especially even the people that's coming over here that's doing that. They know what they doing. Ain't no accident behind this shit.
The only thing that I'm saying is people don't read enough to know that they don't have to scam the government if they need assistance. You don't have to.
Not to get the numbers that they trying to get.
You qualify for. Like most people go run to Section 8. Section 8 and public housing are two different programs, but pretty much the same type of qualifications. They just different. On public housing, you can actually purchase a home on government assistance, but people don't read enough to know that. They just want to get a little voucher so they can go get them a little apartment somewhere so they can feel like they stunting on the land and they might got somebody in there that's not on the paperwork. That's dumb shit. Smart people read. They find out where they can get in, where they fit in, and they get what they do. That's what they do. Yes, scammers are here. Scammers are not the bulk of the people that get government assistance. The bulk of the people that's getting government assistance are the working poor. These people have 2, 3, 4, 5 different jobs sometimes, don't even get to go home because they have to go from one job to the next, and they still don't make enough money to make ends meet for their families. So, like, sitting up here talking about all these ghetto ass people that sit up here and try to scam the government, and all that, it really does a disservice to the people that are actually struggling in this country. And I wish that we really stop having these conversations about fucking scammers because they are the least of the people. We got people that are actually not being paid a working wage and can't take care of themselves, and they have an honest day's work, and that's a
We all
problem.
scamming. Queen, we all scamming, number one. Like, so, like, if you're going to classify, we're going to talk about
It is
scammers,
a
we got to,
shame
most
that you
people,
got 2
no,
and
no,
3 jobs, and you need the
Queen,
government
most
to
people,
still help
but
you
why do you have,
feed yourself.
but why do you have 2 and 3 jobs? Why does a person have 2 and 3 jobs? We've all been there and done that. Either you don't have enough certifications or education or qualifications. That's a you problem.
I got a bachelor's degree. You know, a
No,
bachelor's degree in science. My
I'm
degree
not
ain't
talking
worth
about
a
you right now.
goddamn
I'm not
thing.
talking about you
My
right
degree
now.
is equivalent to a fucking high
Oh
school
my
diploma.
God. Queen, I'm
I
not
got
talking
a
about you
BS
right
in
now.
science.
What does that have to do with anything, Queen? You talking about the person that got 2 and 3 jobs. The person that got 2 and 3 jobs don't have enough qualifications to get the job that only allows them to get one job. That's what happened. And we have a classification of
If
jobs. Some
I
jobs
have
supposed to
a
be summer
bachelor's
jobs.
degree in science and
What's that?
my degree is only allowing me to get, I'm lucky if I can push $30 an hour. For
Okay,
somebody
so
that may only have a high school diploma, they got to work multiple jobs just to take care of themselves because shit is high as fuck. And
no, because they only got a high
companies
school
aren't
diploma.
paying because
No,
somebody with a
you missed the high
BS
school
should
diploma.
not be making less than 25. I mean, making less than $50,000 a year. We barely
Yeah, you
making
will if you
that
go in the
right
wrong
now.
group.
It is engineers that are out of work. So to sit up here and blame the poor for being poor is
I'm not blaming.
insane.
Queen, if you go in the wrong field, you're not going to make money. All fields do
Ain't
not
no
make
such
the same
thing as
money.
the goddamn wrong field. We got
It is.
corporations that are not paying their
So can an
employees.
art director, can you get a degree in art and make money? Like this is delusion. You can go and get a degree in art and make some money. Like stop it.
Yes, you can
All
get a degree
fields
in
are
art
not
and
the
make
same.
money.
Yeah, you're not gonna make no money. All fields don't make money like that. If you're not in certain
It's not
fields,
just say I
you're
got
not gonna
a
make money. That's
bachelor's
how it
degree in
goes.
science. I have a bachelor's
No.
in
I mean,
science.
if it's paying and you get the right certifications or degrees or education or know-how, then you make money. And you don't
I
always
have
have
a
to get an education.
bachelor's in science, sir.
I don't know what's it paying.
That's the problem. It's not paying what it should pay.
Says who?
We don't live in a healthy economy.
You can't just get a
Is what
degree
I'm
wherever you
telling
want.
you. So for people that no, it ain't about work where you want. I got a fucking bachelor's in science, so that means anywhere in healthcare I should be able to go. Anywhere within a private
No, that ain't how
corporation
that
I should
go.
be able to go, and I should be
That
making
ain't how
money
that
where
go.
I can live comfortably. I am making not what I should be making because our economy is shit, and these people are not paying folks what they
That
are
ain't got nothing
worth.
to do with the economy. Queen, that
So
ain't got,
blaming
listen,
the poor
if you,
for being poor is some sick shit.
Queen, I'm
If
not
I
blaming
know with
anybody.
my
If you go, Queen,
qualifications
if you
and the
go,
things that I did to put myself in a position to be good, and I know that in my position, I'm struggling. For somebody that only graduated high school, how the fuck I'm gonna sit up here and tell them, well, they just ain't good enough? No, there is something
I
wrong
never
with our
said that they
economy.
were never good. I said you got a degree in the wrong field. It happens every single day. And people that's in technology, they constantly got to go back to school. So you talking about your degree, people in tech got to keep going back to school. That's part of the game. Like,
Yo,
we're in an
Scholar, you
evolving
got me, bro.
society.
I
We do
can't
not
do
live in socialism. We don't live in socialism. You get a degree in the
Scholar, come
wrong
get your
field, you're
show.
not going to make money. That's how this goes.
Scholar, come get your show. I can't do this.
Nah,
And
cause yeah, cause
this
you yelling and screaming a
is
bunch of stuff that
asinine.
don't, like truck drivers, electricians, plumbers, the body man, the mechanic, the garbage man. These people have been making money forever with no degrees, and those even fluctuate because guess what? The garbage man don't even have the guy
Scholar,
jumping off the truck no more. They got the one arm now that's electronic in most places, in most municipalities.
Scholar,
So
I
all
don't
that
care.
stuff changes. Yeah, you just
I
want to
don't
yell
care
and scream and talk over
we can
people.
cook.
Yeah, because you're a degree.
I can't deal with this. This is
Yeah,
ignorant
cool.
shit.
Because because you don't want to. You don't have a conversation. You just want to scream and yell, and you think because you got whatever you got going on is
I'm
more
not gonna
important than what I
that is
got.
ignorance. What you're saying is ignorance.
Uh-uh.
Because to sit
So
up
what
here
did
and
I
say
say
that
is
you got a
wrong?
wrong
So
degree
all
for
fields
somebody
don't
that
make.
has a bachelor's in science, do you know what that means? You probably don't know what
That
the fuck
means
it
you
means.
spent
That's
a
probably
bunch
why
of
you sit up
money
here
on. That means you
saying
spent
this
a
silly
bunch
ass
of
shit.
money.
A bachelor's in science in healthcare, motherfucker, people get sick endlessly. These motherfuckers ain't paying. Then you just sit up here and say you got a friend that's a goddamn nurse that's on government assistance. Sir, if you don't sit your ass down and shut
Yeah,
the fuck up
yeah.
and
Depending on
stop
what you
playing
do in
about
nursing,
the fact
it
that there's
depends. Are
something
all
wrong with
nurses the
our
same?
economy. Our economy is
Are
fucked
all nurses the
up.
same? Are all nurses the
Fucked up.
same? Are all nurses the
You said,
same?
can we find Knots, we
Are
cannot
all nurses
find
the
common
same?
ground.
All
You
nurses
can't
not the
find
same.
common ground with somebody that's hell bent on
No,
disagreeing with
ain't no,
folks
because
for
you're
the
not
sake of
making no sense.
disagreeing.
So you
Because this
think,
man done
so
said all kind of nonsense and bullshit all night long
nah,
to the
you
point
just
where people
screaming.
done left
You
the
just
panel because of the
screaming.
goddamn bullshit. Now, I was up here
You
trying
the
to
one up here
educate a
yelling and
man
screaming.
about how government
Wait,
assistance work, and this motherfucker came up here talking about, oh no, because they was doing, no the fuck they were not, sir. It's always been an issue of how much income you make. That is the bottom line. It is the income that you
so
make,
they
not
leave the
money.
man off
Yeah,
the
and
income,
that's on
Queen.
stamp
All you
is
do, they
fucking
leave
crazy.
the
But
man
this
off.
man is
All you
saying
doing is
that
yelling and
this
screaming,
person went
Queen.
into the wrong
All
field.
you
That's what
doing is
he
yelling and
said.
screaming.
And you want me to continue to
Yes,
have a
people go in the
conversation
wrong
with
field.
somebody like this, sir? I can't do it. Please come get your show.
Yeah, people go
Come
into the
get your
wrong
show,
field. That's
scholar.
delusion. So you think all the college students get out and they all making $100,000 a year? You think
Scholar,
all
come
them
get
field
your
supposed to make
show.
$100,000 a year? That's delusion. That don't even make any sense. Like you
Scholar,
gonna
come
have
get
like
your
just
show.
because you
What's
got
up,
a
Knox? How
person
you
gets a
doing? You
degree,
playing Fortnite
yeah,
tonight?
you talk over. Yeah, you just talk over people and you don't listen, Queen. When you get in these modes, this don't make no sense. So I sit here and
No,
listen
what
to
you
you
saying
rant and
don't make
rave
no
and do
sense,
all
and I'm
this
not
stuff.
finna listen to
Yeah,
this. I
no,
want Scholar to come
yeah,
get his
I
show.
listen to
Not wait.
all you. I listen to you yell about how people ain't the poverty line and all that stuff you
Here,
did.
let
I
me
ain't
go
say
on
not
mute so
one
you can get it
mumbling
out.
word. Yeah, you just yelling and screaming and ranting. That's all you doing. And when somebody have the opposing view, you don't have the tact just to wait and have an actual conversation. I let you do all that stuff you did about the poverty line. I ain't interrupt you. I let you go on and on, keep repeating the same thing. I ain't interrupt you. The moment I tell you about school and some people get the wrong degree in the wrong field, we see this every day. It's been going on since the beginning of time. It's been going on. For whatever reason, people get degrees in fields that they don't make money, and you spend a bunch of money, and you think on the other end it's going to equate out. It don't always work like that. And some fields shift and they close all the way down because the economy is constantly growing and moving. So you can't sometimes just live on your merit. Pretty soon, all the damn truck drivers in the next 10 years, they're going to have a problem. So that's just how this stuff goes. So to think that it's just never changes and you just get a degree and that's it, that ain't how the economy works. It's never worked like that. And it's opportunity all through that stuff. It's some opportunity, some not. Some people take advantage of it, some people don't. Some people fight the time and some people don't. Just like this AI stuff that's coming up now that people are fighting it tooth and nail for whatever reason. I have no idea why they're fighting it because it's coming. You're not going to stop it. It's just like the automobile versus the train. The automobile came and the train left. We still have the train. People don't use it as much. They use the automobile most of the time for their everyday practice. But there were people who were fighting that tooth and nail. And they can't stop it. Once big business get behind it, you're not stopping AI. So you need to get on board and make sure that you're abreast of what's going on. If you get an education, get the proper education. Go get your education. That should be what we all want to do is get educated. But to think that you're just going to get any education and you're going to get paid, that's craziness. And some of these schools should be locked up for the amount of money that they're charging people, and people ain't even getting a value out of this stuff. Don't even make any sense. Yeah, I know some of y'all.
Oh, let me go back.
No, go ahead, Queen. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead. I'm done.
When the economy is healthy, people are paid for the education that they went and pursued. When the economy is not healthy, people don't make the money that they're supposed to be making. Income has been stagnant in the United States for a while. Okay. Now, COVID played a part in it, and then this stupid ass president that we have is making it even worse. So, We can't sit up here and blame people because they got the wrong degree. Anybody that goes and work in the medical field, people gonna always get sick. People gonna always be dying. That is a field that should always pay. But because our economy is fucked, people are not getting paid for what the things that they can do. Engineers have been struggling to get work for the past 2 decades. It's been a problem in that field. But they push STEM. You got to do STEM. You got to go do STEM. You go do STEM. And these people go do STEM and they come out of school and they cannot find employment. You just sat up here and said the automobile replaced the train. When you go outside of the United States of America, a train is still a viable option to use. Why? Because their infrastructure is better than ours. Their trains actually fucking move. I tried to take a train in the United States from one state to another, and they told me that shit was gonna cost me over $2,000, and it was gonna take damn near 2 weeks for me to get to where I needed to go. It's not efficient at all. Did I have that problem when I was out of the United States of America? No, I did not. There are a lot of things that is wrong with this country. And people are not, well, I ain't gonna say people, there are some people that are refusing to see what the actual problem is. Our economy is not healthy. We have corporations that are hoarding money and not paying these people what they are actually freaking worth. And that is why we are in the situations that we in. So blaming the poor for being poor is insane to me. I'm not finna fucking do that because it is people that got degrees in viable fields that are still struggling and they shouldn't be. And that's just the fucking truth. Tell people, oh no, you went to the, no, that's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and see the decrease in pay for several fields over the past few years. But we got so much technological advancement, but people can't get paid what they worth to do their jobs. Something's wrong with it. What's wrong with it? It's probably an economic problem. Most of the things that's wrong in this country can be laid toward the economy and the economics of this country. That's the truth. Not, oh, yo lazy ass or yo dumb ass when they got the wrong particular field. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's a cop out to take away from the greed of these damn corporations and the foolishness of this current administration. Period. The topic knots was about Donald Trump because Scholar was playing a video of Donald Trump sitting up here lying again about Iran and everything else he been sitting up here lying about, and then the conversation just progressed to other things. How we get to the topic of poverty was there was another panelist up here and he made the statement that the government was interfering with black families, which I do agree with. But he said that they offered black women money to put the man out of the house. And I had to inform him that that's not true. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put no man out. No, the government can't come put you out your damn house. Okay. And because my mother actually used to work for those programs, I let that man talk. I went all the way on mute and I let him say all that dumb shit that he wanted to say. I didn't say nothing. I was on mute. I ain't say a motherfucking word. I did this right here. My microphone was off. I let that man talk as much as he wants to, and then when he started again, I pushed it again. So don't do that. Don't do that. He can say whatever he wants to. I'm gonna go on mute every time he decides to talk. Okay, since I don't let him talk, I'll make sure I mute my goddamn self. You understand? Because I don't want to be accused of no nonsense. But what I'm not finna do is sit up here and listen to people spew dumbass shit. Okay.
Well, Queen, that's your opinion. Yeah, that's your. You have listen. You got every right to have your opinion, and you got every right to have your opinion, and I have every right to have mine. I don't agree with what you're saying, so that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna sit and say you got some dumbass opinion. I just don't agree with that stuff you're saying.
But your
Eliminate
shit is
jobs.
dumbass because I know it's not true. It's dumb. I know it's not true. It's some dumbass shit. So I'm gonna tell you it's dumb shit. You're not finna sit up here and say dumb shit because it's your opinion when I know what facts are. This real easy. Well, it ain't my show, so I can't pull this shit up. I would put this shit on the screen if I could. The economy is shit right now. When the economy is shit, people don't get fair wages. That's just the bottom line. That's the truth. The poverty line is the poverty line and it's different from everybody. That's why they have an income requirement in order to get government assistance. Okay? Sitting up here saying all this other stuff, letting people sit up here and spew stuff and not be educated is how we end up in these situations that we get into. It's not hard to educate people on the facts. What's up, Knots?
Well, look, this is the problem with the economy stuff you're talking about. In every economy, jobs leave. Like we had taxi cab drivers that left. We've had when Uber came along, we lost a bunch of jobs doing that. We've every 10 years, there's a mass exodus of a certain sector that technology catches up and people lose jobs. Like that's always going to happen. It's not going to be an exemption of any economy. It has nothing to do with that. That's just technology. You've seen like you don't see that many people answering phones no more. You see all that stuff being automated with AI over the last 10 years. So you don't have any secretaries anymore. You don't have as much people, call centers. You don't really see that as much. You don't see people working on it. None of this stuff like, so the advancement of technology is going to eliminate jobs. So for those lower tier jobs where it doesn't take much but a warm body, those jobs are always and constantly going to be at risk. That's never going to, no matter what the economy is, because corporations and businesses are always trying to save money on labor. So that is a symptom of just the world itself and people trying to save money on labor. That has nothing to do with technology at a certain point. And you get into certain infraction points where certain things come along and they change everything. Right now it's AI. Before that, it was the .com boom. Like you've always have things that are ramping up and gearing up where people have to get retooled. They got to get more tools. They got to get more equipped to what's going on. If not, those jobs leave and they're never coming back. We lost. Now, if you look at, I'll say this now, be quiet with it. If you look at most of these politicians now, they're always talking about bringing jobs back. What jobs are they bringing back? The jobs that left, the coal, the steel, those ain't never coming back. Those left for a reason. That's just a technology thing. So I think that's not, you're partially right. It's not all it didn't matter who was going to be the president this time around. AI was coming either way, and we were going to lose all those coding jobs, all those jobs in Silicon Valley were going to leave anyway. All those jobs people answering the phone are going to leave anyways.
Those are not the only areas where people are not being paid fairly and don't have jobs. So like that's great. What they got to do with the rest of the population?
Those low tier jobs always are like that. If you're in a
And
low tier
they gonna
job that
take
can
the
you
low
can be
tier jobs.
replaced automated, that's going to be any job that they
And
can
the
automate, they're
people
going to
that don't
replace it.
have low tier jobs, the people that don't have low tier education, what is happening with them?
It has nothing to do with your. See, you're missing it. You're thinking I'm saying low tier like they're miseducated. People who went to school for coding, that they were dev op coders, they lost their job. Those are the low tier part of that. There's senior dev operators and there's junior dev operators. They lost their job. That has nothing to do with them not being educated. They lost their job because of artificial intelligence can code better and faster than a junior dev operator. That's just a fact. That's nothing to do with nothing else than that just came along and wiped all those jobs around. It wiped out the jobs for making websites, making apps, making programs, all of that stuff those people used to do, and those jobs are all gone. And those are people who probably been in that field for a minute. And that was going to happen no matter what, because no matter who the president was, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they were all going to adopt AI and get those people out of there. It didn't matter.
Again, people with professional degrees that are not being paid what they are actually worth. That is happening because why?
Say the question again. Say the
People with
question again.
professional degrees who are not getting paid what they should be getting paid. That is happening because why?
It could be a lot of different factors. It could be that your field is becoming
Okay.
automated. It could be a lot of different with your experience level. It could be a different because what you feel like you should get paid. Most people don't never feel like they're getting paid the right amount of money. I haven't met very few people that say, "Hey, I'm getting paid the correct amount." Everybody believe they need to get a raise for good reason. So that don't like that statement. Like it just don't really work like that.
It's real easy. So you can go to the labor board and look at a career and what it has paid over the years, and you can see that the wages have not increased and pay has
But
dropped for some people. Okay, so again, why is this happening?
It depends on the field. Like you could say that. So does the Uber driver get paid the same as the taxi cab driver? No.
If the Uber,
Yeah, it depends on what's
you go to
happening in your
college to
field.
drive Uber?
Depend on the field. Depend on what you're
You go
talking
to
about. Every
college
field
to
is
drive
different.
Uber?
Huh?
Is that what happens? You go to college to drive Uber. You go get a master's degree to drive Uber.
I didn't know we was talking about master's
You get a
degrees. I didn't know
PhD
you
to
don't have
drive
to have it.
Uber. I
You don't
said
have to have a
professional
master's degree to
degree.
drive.
I said
You don't have to have a master's
professional
degree.
degree. Thank you, Pamela. It is the economy. It's real simple. It's
So
boom.
did the
It's
taxi cab
economy.
driver?
Damn.
So did the taxi cab driver get a master's degree when he had to pay $100,000 to get his medallion degree in New York City, and now he can't do that? Did he have to go get a degree to do that? No. Is he not a professional? Yes. There's all kind of professionals all up into America, and they get affected differently depending on what's going on.
Speaking words, right? All right, I'm speaking words.
Go ahead.
Correct. I am speaking words, right? I not. So I could have swore the words that came out of my mouth were professional degree, not professional cab driver, because you don't go get a professional degree to be a fucking cab driver. No, you don't. I said professional degree. So people that invested in themselves to have occupations that should give them a certain amount of income are not getting that. And the reason that that's not happening is because there's something fucked up about the economy. The reason why a pound of ground beef is damn near $20 is because there's something wrong with the economy. The reason that a lot of these things is got people can't buy houses, you know why? Because there's something wrong with the economy, and we got corporate buyers buying up every fucking thing and raising the price because they some greedy fucking bastards. Because something's wrong with the economy. What are we sitting up here talking about? We just not gonna admit that the economy in the United States of America is not in a fucked up state right now. Is that what we doing? Because all hell Donald Trump. Is that what we doing?
So again, the people who went to school for computer science and got masters and PhDs in that, they don't have jobs. So like the idea that all of a sudden that it would have mattered who the president was and the economy was when AI was coming, it didn't matter. It depends on what you're talking about. Again, depends on the field you're talking about. All jobs and sectors are not created equal. Some sectors and jobs disappear over time for a lot of different reasons. Depends on what you're specifically talking about. Yeah, all jobs ain't the same. So